just like, do I revive him or do I not? Like, canonically, Cat would revive him. Morally, I want to revive him because I've just spent literally an entire week working on this damn art. Realistically, he dies, I find the real Dan and I strangle Dan as well.
Nah, you would find the real Dan and you would get along with him like a house on fire. He's a great guy.
Yeah, there will literally be a lot of fire.
Me on the other hand, I'm horrible.
I was also going to say, I'm not sure you'd actually be able to strangle Dan, Jamie, because I think your height difference is too great.
I've got angle grinders.
Yeah,
in the
you
car.
wouldn't be able to reach.
Yeah.
Look, I have crowbars, I have angle grinders, and
For Jamie,
I am willing to bring
would
people
stoop to his
down.
level. No, for Jamie, I would stoop to his level. I'd let him.
Wow.
That's fair.
You're gonna how do you talk to your short friends meme?
You
Literally.
kick them in the nuts and then they fall over.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, Jamie, you're gonna be at Birmingham.
Birmingham?
NCM.
Birmingham.
No.
Ah, okay.
I've never been to Birmingham.
Birmingham
One.
MCM. I just
I
thought I'd
have.
check in.
It's
I-
meant.
I want to go, but just the time of things. I'm thinking of going next year, but I'm going to the London one in October. So
I don't know if I'll be doing October or not. Honestly, it's kind of just down to the sheer amount of shit I have going on in October.
What date is it in October?
End of it, right?
yeah,
27th then.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes,
Cool. Just so I know ahead
I
of
will
time.
be in London.
But hello everyone and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players, Cat,
Hi.
Mortar,
Hi.
Kirv,
Hello.
Vinny,
Hello.
and Romulus.
Hello.
We have all returned after last week's wonderful session. So I think we should get right into it, don't you?
Mortar fucking died.
He came back.
It was bad.
He's gonna die again.
He got
In the
better.
forest.
Off screen.
Yeah.
It's like we
Don't
started
wake me
and
up.
off screen.
Yeah, Mortar's dead. Oh. A
Well,
suspicious
wake
chain-looking scar along his neck. Huh.
Did you say,
Funny
did you say a cat-shaped scar on his neck?
No, a chain.
Oh.
A chain. A chain.
a cat-shaped scar.
Oh,
There's just like a hole of a centaur through his neck.
All of Cat has gone through his neck. There's just no neck. It's like, oh look, he died. I lost another limb. This time it was his head. Crazy.
It's like somehow you jump through my neck and my arm falls off.
Come on.
Now, I don't want to break this up, but I think we should begin. Or at the very least remind ourselves as to what happened. Last session seemed to be a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions, wouldn't you say? What's a roller coaster, you ask? Well, they're for fun. But anyway, last session our party of adventurers, Cat, Kirv, Mortar, Romulus and Vinny, had escaped the clutches of a herald of husk, scampering into the mountain along the old pass to evade the possible undead that may or may not have been pursuing them. With a rest taken and Kirv signing a new oath with the archdevil known as the Blackvine, Cat brought Mortar back from the dead, only to have his mental well-being be betrayed, shall we say, as he attempted to confront Snap and ended up biting off more than he could chew. With Vinny holding Mortar to help him out from this nightmare, Mortar slowly but surely managed to try and get some rest. But you did not sleep any further that night, Mortar. As the party begins to wake the next day, Romulus taking the last watch, mostly uneventful, just the occasional bird flying through or tweeting at these early hours. The snow otherwise slowing to a near trickle as it's beginning to clear up this high up, with the snowfall now slowing down, but the winds are still present outside. Mortar, you otherwise recover 1 point of exhaustion, but for the purposes of this, you are still very mentally wrung out, shall we say.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
obviously, Cat, you recover from 1 point of exhaustion as well. Now, if I remember correctly, you otherwise were at the base of the mountain, actually. So you're not actually that high up. You're at the base of the mountain. So there's still some fresh snow that has laid this far down the mountain, because you were close to the edge of the forest, if I remember correctly, that seems to span the entire inner valley around the Spiral Mountains.
Sorry, Chris, do I recover my hit points and all that stuff now as well?
Yes, yeah. You've all recovered from a long rest, so you get all of your resources back and such. You get half of your level's worth of hit dice, you get 5 back. For those of you who have multi-classed and have different dice, you get to choose which ones you get back. And we will begin the day. So, Romulus, you wake and you begin to prepare breakfast for everybody as you normally would. But you take note that Mortar seems to be the first to awake, which is unusual for him given he was exhausted the day before. But you can tell from heavy bags under his eyes he doesn't seem to have rested all that well.
Mortar's wearing his goggles and everything over his eyes, and he's wearing his mask up as per normal. But his posture is very stooped. He looks, he's not looking up at all. He's kind of curled into himself, just kind of holding his knees to his chest, but breathing very slowly.
Mm-hmm. The rest of you begin to slowly awake, one after another. Do you wish to do anything, or are we moving on to the next day of travel?
That was a good sleep.
I'm just making my food for the day and tempting treats.
Could I watch that happening and get some experience?
Of course.
Yeah.
You see, what I'm currently doing is I'm mixing a little bit of water with some flour and applying a little bit of honey
Delicious.
to that in order to make a little fritter, essentially. Able to use some of the oil we've got in either in order to fry it a little, and with very little effort you have a slightly sweet tasting yet fairly filling food item.
Inspiring.
I'm going to pass out food in general to everyone, but I will be giving my temp HP treats to Cat, Carvern, Mortar, and
I don't need it.
I'll give it to myself then. It should be noted these will not be... You know what? No, I will make these as special ones. So it's 8 temporary hit points.
Ooh,
Let me just get rid of the...
Very nice.
amazing, thank you.
Okay.
Corrected. Lovely. I don't know what we're going to face today, but if, Carvern and Mortar are still recovering to any degree, that just makes sense.
I'll be able to travel. Mortar will be able to travel at a good speed now. Because he's now at 1 level of exhaustion. So
yeah.
So now it's just disadvantage on checks, right?
Now you're just bad at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just bad. No, I'm just generally bad at stuff.
That's not true. You're very good at dying.
Mortar stoops deeper into depression.
Oh.
Oh,
He was just about to stand up and immediately sits back down. He's like, nah, you know what? Okay.
I think I'm going to. You know what? Mortar. Would you like a hug?
I think Mortar just nods. But he doesn't move. He doesn't move. initially.
I fully pick you up and cradle you. There, Mortar. It'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just happening. Feasibly, I
Yes,
can
it
do
is.
this. Feasibly, I'm strong enough to do this most of the way. So, you know.
It's cat standing there, it's like, lucky for some, I've never had that. No, looks at herself, whatever.
Look, I just need someone to cast enlarge on me, and we can do this.
Start learning
You have
enlarged
You have
spells.
Giant's Might.
I have
Giant's
Giant's Might.
Might.
I don't know if even Giant's Might is enough to cradle cat. It'll be up to DM, I guess, on that one.
Could you double down on like Giant's
Yeah.
Might and then enlarge?
Yeah.
Enlarge.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Theoretically, though, I have to Giant's Might first, then
yeah.
enlarge.
Yeah, it would have to be in that specific order, but yes, I believe so.
Which is an obnoxious little specificity, but yes.
It's good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah, or become higher level in that, because if you do become huge at later levels, don't you?
That's true. That is true.
So you'd only need it for a certain amount of time.
I become higher level in this purely so that I can hug my child better.
Well, it's best dad.
I just like the idea of Romulus working out, and it's just that I'm gonna get so good at hugging meme.
Yeah. So I'm just checking when you actually get it.
Oh, it's like what, 17 or something. Spicy.
Mortar will break the hug after a little while.
All right, I set you down. I'm not going to hold you against your will.
And I just go to sitting back down and eating the food that you made, but more kind of pushing it around the plate rather than eating it.
Ah, it's 18th.
Oh no, it's 18th level, so I have to drop my Barbarian in order to get to it. Which actually might be quite a nice moment in like the characterization of like
Late game.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Quite literally, I gain vulnerability in order to look after my child, which I think is a very beautiful bit of symbolism right there. But that's
But
this
anyway.
is non-canon for
Yeah.
anyone who's listening in. Non-canon it'll be
This is
perfectly natural when the time comes.
Perfectly natural.
So, you eat up as best you can. Everyone marks a ration off. And who would like to roll the 2d10 for the day?
Oh, me! I'm feeling lucky today.
Okay. 2d10 are on
are there
the
two-
table.
Okay. Oh, we're wanting high, right?
Yes. High means nothing happens during the day, but more happens on the trackers.
7.
7? Okay.
Go.
7.
Okay.
That's
Roll
bit
me
lower,
1d10.
Uno D10. I'm gonna roll the one that's a 4 on it, and we're gonna put a bit of luck into this one. Now you roll a 10, you motherfucker.
This could either be really good or really, really bad.
So, as you're beginning to travel through the day, kind of heading into the pine forest initially, the higher altitude here, this is more to what you're used to, Romulus. And as you're kind of leading the way with Mortar still kind of trying to get what rest he can, but being generally very quiet throughout the day, you do kind of look up and you hear the sound of thunder in the distance, as what sounds to be some form of storm or blizzard maybe on the horizon. It's not arrived yet. You don't know if it will necessarily arrive today, but there's one about, it seems.
There's a storm a-coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's on its way.
At some point in the future, there will be rain.
Well, this
This
far
is a
south it
perfectly
will snow.
accurate prophecy.
Okay.
We should try and make sure we don't travel too far away from some sort of shelter. Luckily, we're in the trees at the moment. That will provide a certain amount of coverage. But we may have to bed down for the night, dependent on what occurs. If I might make a suggestion, Carvern is particularly susceptible to temperature change at the moment. If the signs of it get closer, I would suggest that we might focus on either a dug-out burrow or a cave, if at all possible, just to provide as much potential for dry and warmth than perhaps a more traditional lean-to or tent could perhaps provide.
I mean, a bit more comfort sounds good.
Excellent.
Yep, I'm happy to follow your expertise on this. If
Keep an
if we
eye
need
out.
more shelter than the tiny hut can provide, I'll probably leave you in charge of looking. I think you're right, the best.
I suspect the tiny hut will be ideal, but I'm concerned about us getting caught in a mud field or a snowstorm again. Of course,
No,
if
that's a
the
good
tiny
point.
hut,
We don't want to repeat it there.
of course, if the tiny hut functions correctly, we should all be fine. This is merely me being overly precautious, perhaps. Right. So you said a couple days, sometime within the next couple days is the idea on that one.
Sometime coming up, yes. So it's quite possible that it will arrive either depending on the direction you're headed and depending on the direction that I've rolled for the direction of the storm. It could quite possibly be that it just passes by. It's also quite possible that it will otherwise hit your party sooner rather than later and then pass over, or anything else in between.
We shall see.
You'll see. But for now, I would like someone to lead the survival check, please.
I got a +5. Mortar, can you do any better?
Doesn't he have a disadvantage?
He has disadvantage at the moment.
I have
yeah.
disadvantage, but I have a +12.
Jeez.
+12, motherfucker. To
I
survival?
Yeah. I'm a ranger, dude. It's the only feature of ranger which I kind of use consistently.
I think you would be
fair
better at survival.
Such a dick.
How many do I take from that vicious mockery?
No, I'm sorry.
I took a level in Bard.
I'd like us all to unionize, and I'd like to make a petition for Rek to get a fucking.
Also, I just
inspiration
offed
for that.
himself right now. Yeah, I agree. Something Kirv just says completely off the cuff, just like not even thinking, and Mortar's shoulders sag even more.
God.
His shoulders are by his knees right now.
You know what? I'll allow it. Bittersweet inspiration for that.
Thank you.
You can take inspiration, but know that when you use it, I will bring it up again.
Yeah.
I think Romulus should roll it. I don't think Mortar's head's in it.
Okay. I don't suppose I could ask you to provide me advantage.
Where he's exhausted,
yeah,
he won't
sure.
be able to. Another member of the party
Oh,
can,
yeah,
just
that's
means
right.
that they can't do perception.
Noted.
How would I provide assistance?
You tell me.
I stand beside him and I put my hands to my eyes like they were binoculars.
Excellent. Together we shall see all threats.
Romulus, go ahead and roll me a survival check, and no, you don't get advantage.
Wah!
Can I at the very least be as Kirv is doing this, like try and take Kirv through some of the basics of, well, essentially what we're looking out for is anything out of the ordinary. You see these tracks over here are this, and then just sort of like explain little bits and pieces,
Yeah, I'll allow it.
like little bits of craft lore. It may not have any functional effect, but at least it means that you gain a little bit over time.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Well, that's a 7.
That is a 7 indeed.
Okay.
Let me double check. Yes, that is a 7.
Okay. The trees down here are, from what you can generally tell, very old in just how they've grown, and they have been here for quite some time. And as you are kind of beginning to point out tracks and stuff to Kirv and traveling, you look up and you're unable to see the sky, and you kind of look back where you've come, and you can't see your tracks very far, and you're suddenly realizing that you may have gotten turned around, but you're not sure.
Oh.
We may have gotten turned around. I'll
By
be
who?
honest, this snow has... by ourselves. Probably me. It seems that with this snowstorm going on, it's covering up our tracks, so it's harder to keep clear track of where we're heading. What time of day is it, Chris?
You don't know. The canopy's a bit too thick. It's not dark in here, so there must be some sunlight coming through. But if the storm's on its way, that could very easily turn into a perceived night very quickly.
Kat, could you, or Kirv, could you send one of your birds up and tell me where the sun is?
I'll send Jeff up. He's gonna go have a look for roughly where the sun is and the mountain that's got the giant spiral. What direction is it?
Okay. Go ahead and
Not
roll
be
me
blown
a
away.
survival check with Jeff.
Look, I'm ready to snap him back if he starts whizzing around.
Remember, you can look through his eyes and just tell us.
I will be looking through his eyes.
Okay, make me a survival check with your survival then.
If that's better, it's fine to do it. If not, I'm just saying. I have no idea.
My survival is marginally better than Jeff's. This is somewhat degree comical.
Hey, better is
Okay.
better.
It's a +3. Yeah, checks out. Oh no,
How bad?
I
6.
got a 6.
Okay, that you can at least point.
So, Jeff flies up there, and as you're looking through Jeff's eyes, Jeff's looking for the sun, and you're immediately blinded as you kind of close your eyes, as Jeff is stupid enough to look directly into the sun. Jeff knows where the sun is. You don't know what direction it is, though, as Jeff is now blind for the time being, as Jeff cannot see.
Okay, I'm just gonna snap him back. Yeah, no.
You see
There's-
Jeff
there's-
just standing there blinking, wobbling from side to side.
There's something up there. I don't know why. It's too bright. I'm not admitting that he just looked directly at the sun. There was something up there. Right, I let the party be on an air of defense if there's a creature or something. I refuse to capitulate to this Jeff is stupid nonsense.
Next time we'll
let's-
send Eugene. He's more expendable.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
No, fine,
Right.
fine. I'm going to lick one finger and hold it up.
expendable.
Which way is the wind blowing, Chris?
Seems to be blowing in a direction behind you and to the left.
Behind us to the left.
Can
I
potentially
I
cast
heard
levitate
the
on?
thunder and saw the clouds earlier, right?
Yes, but you weren't entirely sure what direction they were coming from.
That's fine, that's fine. So, behind us to the left, it couldn't be coming down through the mountains because they would provide a natural wind block. So,
Could I cast levitate on myself and fly up through the canopy and look?
You can.
that's smart.
You cast levitate on
okay,
yourself. You
I'll
begin
do
to
it.
rise
I'll just
up.
shot put you up there.
As you get close to the top of the canopy, now being very in direct sunlight, you're kind of squinting as you're suddenly realizing, it's still very bright out, and you can't necessarily see, or you could potentially see the storm if you looked around, but it is very bright, and you're used to darker areas.
I'm not looking for the storm. Romulus has said the storm's coming, so we already know that. I'm looking for where the mountain is specifically.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. This will be a flat roll, because you have advantage from your goggles and disadvantage because of being in direct sunlight
Exhaustion.
plus exhaustion. Yeah.
Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Looking about, you can just about see what looks to be the kind of the central mountain that seems to be more off to the left. You seem to have skewed yourself going a bit more southward than you would have liked. And you take note of that. Seems that kind of corresponding that with your allies, the wind is going in a northwesterly direction, coming up from the base Arctic sections of the world, and seems to be coming up through the mountains and traveling up the spiral, so it seems.
Okay, I'll return back down the canopy, back down to the ground level, and I'll pass that on.
All
I
right.
think we need to be heading. This way.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mortar. Right, let us transport ourselves.
Go ahead
Does,
and make me another survival check. If you
Oh,
please.
boy. Vinny, can you help me look?
Yeah, of course, I'd be happy to give you a hand.
Thank fuck.
Right,
Can I get
Vinny's-
advantage from Vinny?
Yeah, that's fine.
Vinny is going to be assisting by attempting to point out like any details he thinks might be relevant as quickly as possible, and seeing if Romulus can find anything.
Hey.
Oh my god!
Yeah, of course, Vinny is not proficient in survival, so what he thinks might be relevant is possibly not super significant.
Okay. You keep traveling for the day. You're no longer turned around and you're like, cool, it's this way. You keep traveling. Day goes by. You're looking around. You don't see any good places to camp, but it is beginning to get darker. And you begin to hear the sounds of thunder a bit closer than you would have liked to hear it. As it seems you have gone... You've still strayed a bit south from what you can guess, and the storm will be upon you in maybe less than an hour.
Oh, he's busting out the sound effects.
I know, right?
I'm excited.
It is exciting. Right. We'd best set up our best options for camp. You said we have about an hour?
You have about an hour.
Is mold earth available to us?
Yeah, I always have it.
Yeah.
I can't turn it off.
True, but there's also
Yep.
no earth. It's all snow
It's-
around here. Snow and leaf coverage.
I don't have mold snow. Sorry.
So you mean there's no dirt underneath that? It's just snow all the way down.
There could
Yep.
be. You'll need to dig it
To the
first.
core.
Right. I'm going to, at the very least, take some of our tools. I want to say, do we have a shovel?
I have a
I've got a
scythe.
shovel, yeah.
Yep, I'd like to grab a shovel and just at least dig down and see if there is earth underneath.
It takes you a little bit, as this is, for the most part, people don't seem to travel through here all that often. And as you're beginning to dig, you're finding layers of snow and then sections of mulch. And as you're kind of continuing to dig down, you find like a thin layer of ice, and then what used to may have once been snow has kind of become this empty pocket. And as you hit it with your shovel, there's a little bit of cracking, and the area around you not necessarily collapses, but there's a little jolt as the entire floor around your party moves down in that moment, as if you've been walking on an ice shelf this whole time. You otherwise peel it back, and you can see that there is frozen and dry earth underneath your feet, or hooves.
Interesting. If we were to dig into that and use mold earth to essentially excavate a small chunk of it, would we be able to make a safer sort of location for the hut?
It's possible, yeah. If it's cemented onto soil as opposed to snow, it will be generally safer.
Because it's going to be a lot harder for things to, burrow up into it or something. Because the earth, especially if we can use mold earth to sort of pack it in tight underneath us, will make it considerably more resistant than just some snow and ice would be.
I think it's more to
I
worry
would
about
say.
it going muddy while you're on it, but yeah.
That's also fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So I
Right,
will say, in this instance,
Mhm.
Romulus, make me an athletics check. Cat, make me an intelligence check.
Oh,
Vinny, make me a constitution... actually, no. Make me a dexterity check, Vinny. Kirv, and Mortar, is there
okay.
anything you want to do during this time?
After you, Rebecca.
Um. Can I move the snow with my scythe?
Okay. Make me an athletics check. And Mortar,
Okay.
is there anything you'd like to try and do?
I don't know if there's anything Mortar can do, but I will, maybe kind of unconsciously he wants to help, but he can't bring himself to do it, so his shadow comes to life. I'm going to cast Summon Shadow Spawn, and that's going to help Dig.
Excellent.
So this
Is it at all
unnerving
possible-
shadow begins to just scoop snow while snarling and just kind of dripping and just...
Is it,
Shadow-
is it possible for me
Shadow-
to use Giant's Might to start with to A, increase the size of the shovel,
Yeah.
and B, increase my strength?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Hell yeah. Then I'm going to be doing that.
Shadow looks eerily like
Okay.
Mortar, but his eyes are like pinprick dots of white, and a massive grin is displayed on its face.
Okay, my rolls are slowly
Okay.
getting better. That's still like a 17.
Okay, 17 on athletics. Kirv, what did you get?
Was that?
13.
13. Vinny?
Was it flat dexterity you wanted? For that?
It will be your initiative if
Or-
you have any other bonuses to your initiative. I can't remember if you have... Oh, that's right, you have your swashbuckler thing. So it will just be an initiative roll.
Oh, okay.
Basically, this is
Right, that's a
you...
23.
23, okay. This is you timing it
Oh, yeah,
well
my
enough
initiative bonus
to-
went up again, by the way.
Of course it did.
Fun now.
Oh, did you pick alert as your beat for level 10?
Nice.
No, I just boosted my
The
dex
dex.
score.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
That is also fair. But yeah. And Kat, what did you get for your intelligence?
11.
Okay, 11. So, as a Mortar, I'll say, make me...
I was just going to say, could my shadow just be granting the help action to someone?
I'll say, because Romulus already
Yeah.
had advantage, we'll say, Kirv, if you want to roll again, see if you get higher than a 12.
Curve? Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny's unfortunately is more of a just timing, doing the dome at the correct time to make sure that it's not impeding and getting in
Gotcha,
the
I'm
way,
with
while also making sure that it's
I'm with
done
you.
as soon as possible.
14.
BRB.
14, okay. So, with Mold Earth being used, with the shovel also having the Mold Earth property, because it's Vinny's special shovel that he bought,
Oh.
that has Mold Earth attached to it, means that you can basically just pat the top of the soil and condense it, like this were a farming sim. You otherwise begin to set up the basis for the area that Vinny needs as he begins to draw out the circle, and with resounding success across the board, you have several minutes to spare before the storm arrives, as you begin to hear the sounds of the thunder beginning to draw closer and become louder.
You really enjoy that soundboard, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do.
Fair enough. Right. Well, everyone, let's get inside and bed down for the night.
Mm-hmm. You can hear the sound of the wind otherwise rushing past, the snow beginning to lay on thick, and you have dug maybe a good 1.5 feet into the snow to get to this solid soil that you've now built in place here. And you settle down as best you can for whatever nighttime awaits you. Before you settle down, is there any conversations people would like to have? Because Mortar and Kat still have to remain off of watch because they have a point of exhaustion.
I would like to have a conversation with Kirv, if at all possible. So,
And if there is a moment when I can do so, I'd like to take Mortar aside at some point.
who would like to go first?
You go
Sorry,
first.
you
You
can go
said
first.
Kirv, come sit with me by the fire whilst I'm cooking.
Yeah.
Are you, I just wanted you to know that there's no hard feelings about the choice you said you might have made.
Oh, this is that talk.
I have two conflicting thoughts on the matter. On the one hand, I would gladly give my life in a heartbeat to save cats. You know that. She knows that. I think I've made it fairly clear throughout all of our interactions. So I understand why you would let that happen. Because it is true, I would do it in a heartbeat.
But
But I never wanted you to have to make that decision. I never wanted the weight of that to be on someone else. So, whilst I hope you never have to make that decision again, or not, if it will save my family, Cat, and the rest of you, then I'm telling you to do it now, so that the weight is never again on you.
honestly, it didn't feel like my decision. It felt... I knew the answer because I knew what you would have wanted.
Yeah.
I delayed because I didn't trust him. I was trying to see if there was more behind his offer.
In this case, I think there was about as, I think it was just a cruel trick trying to cause pain.
Oh yeah, he was a prick.
Yes, well, I really wish I'd gotten to throw him in the pool of horrifying. But just wanted to make sure things were clear there. How have you been holding up? You did something quite impressive with Filch. Are you,
I think it had more to do with the Lord of Crows than me.
Even so, though we may be but blunt instruments at times to those greater than us, that does not mean we do not take on the ravages of use. Does, if that makes any sense.
It seems I'm now the blunt instrument of another as well.
Oh. Two slightly disturbing deities. Or similar creatures.
Lords. That's
Lords.
2 lords of my layer of hell now that are interested in me. It's hard not to feel complimented.
Indeed. Well, don't let it go to your head too much.
Too late.
What, well, I know that the other one was of crows, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what this other lord deals in?
Thorns. But
Thorns?
more generally, agriculture.
Yes, I'm somehow not surprised that thorns are a staple crop in, well, your particular homeland.
Kirv just nods.
Well, as long as you're safe, that is what truly matters.
I have plans to be safe.
Be wary. Plans to be safe often fall awry. I have found, at least.
Mm.
As long as you are safe, though, that's what matters. Do you think you'll be all right? I know that. Well, I cannot imagine it is completely without its intimidation to be caught between 2 lords, be they of hell or of any other locale.
I think if anyone were to be safe in my position, it would be me. I've been raised to be wary of deals. I've been taught to know my worth on the farm.
All right. All right. Well, why don't I show you a couple tricks? Are you familiar with the Maynard reaction? It's called the Maynard reaction because Minotaurs discovered it. Essentially, I go on to explain the Maynard reaction.
Go on then.
Go on then.
Fine. Oh, fine. Fuck you then. So essentially, what happens is when you are heating up something on a skillet, a hot pan, if you get it at a certain temperature, it'll begin to brown, you may notice. Now, what's actually happening here is not only color and heat being added, there is in fact a magical change occurring to the meat, usually, that you're cooking. You see the proteins and the fats that make it up are being heated up, and they're interacting with one another, and they essentially the sugars that are in there also meld together into a delightful, almost caramelization. Although it should be noted, this is slightly different than caramelization, which is a very similar yet slightly different procedure.
Okay.
We'll get to that next time.
As you're having this conversation, did everybody mark off the rations for the day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me do that for me and Kat.
Was that the one at the beginning of?
That was the one at
The
the
day
beginning
we
of the
said
day, yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Just making sure before we move on to the next day. But I believe Mortar and Vinny, you wanted to chat while Romulus is explaining the Maynard reaction to Kirv.
Yes, I just want to take Mortar outside quickly, having obviously been there for last night and seeing how he was today. Hey, Mortar. I just want to check if you're. Just want to check if you're feeling okay. I mean, you have the right not to be. Especially after everything you've been through recently.
Fine, man. Just, I think I just freaked out, is all. It's nothing. I just,
No, I mean,
bad dream.
well, I've never died before, so I don't know what that's like or what you go through afterwards. I just want to say, it doesn't have to be now, and it doesn't have to be me, but when you're ready, you should talk to someone.
Know anyone who's died? Come back without a limb? Or just died?
I mean,
Funny you should say.
yeah, Romulus is all in one piece, but
Yeah, man. Look, I'm sorry for last night. I think I just
No.
overreacted to something. I think I just got in my own head a little bit. You know, it happens. I'm good. You know,
Okay.
I'll be good. I'll be fighting Shake tomorrow. Don't even worry about it. Like, it's just it's
okay. Well, you don't need to be apologizing for last night. Really, I should apologize for not being able to do more to help. But
maybe at some point I'll
okay.
yeah. You know, I'm just wrapping my head around it, man. Like, I died, so what? You know, it's an adventurous life. You know, it's all about that. You know, we die, we come back, we save the day, we get the food, we get the money, we win. That's what we do. So, you know, don't even worry about it. It's I'll be okay. I think it's new experience. That's all. Nothing to worry about. Okay over here. I'll be back to being a pain in the ass in no time.
Yeah, I have no idea what a healthy response to dying and coming back without a limb is. I'm not sure that's what that was, but
Roll insight.
I mean,
if
you-
like. And if you roll high enough, if Chris wants to set a DC or anything, you can.
Or what's this?
Vinny wants to insight Mortar as to whether or not Mortar is being truthful as to how he's feeling right now.
Make me an
He's doing a
opposed
cope
deception
check.
check, but I'm not going to have you. Well, deception or persuasion, your choice. But I'm not going to have you roll with disadvantage because being exhausted will play into the lie a little bit.
Okay, no worries. So well, am I right to not say what it is?
Yeah. You don't have to say which one. You just tell me the result.
Okay.
Okay. I'll roll insights. I will open this up by saying that Vinny is approaching this it's like a tone of skepticism, but he's trying not to pry too much.
Yep.
So
Being
Sure.
being
For sure.
tactful, I believe is the term.
okay, insight, that is a 24.
Yeah, dude. DC was 16. I got 16 on my check. Mortar is not okay. He's definitely he's trying to on a front. He's very embarrassed about what happened following like last night in terms of knee-jerk reaction, but there's also there's a sense that he is scared to go to sleep tonight. And that he doesn't want to, but he doesn't want to tell anybody about it because to him, he looks weak to all of you. Like a dog that's been kicked, essentially. That's how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't worry, man. I'll be good as new. I'm good. I'm so good right now. And Cloud 9.
okay. Well, look, all I want to say for now is, you don't have to be. You know, we wouldn't have made it back there if it weren't for you. You don't. There's nothing you need to prove to us. If getting back on your feet and being back in fighting shape matters to you, then that's good, but it doesn't have to happen overnight.
And yeah, I feel that. I just think right now, I think me getting back into it, you know, back into the fray. I think I just need to, you know, shake this off. This is a slump. I'll be fine. Got this. Besides, I mean, at least he kind of nods over to Carver, and at least her being alive shows I can do something, right?
I guess. I don't think that's the kind of thing you should be looking to prove. You know, in spite of all the differences we may have had in the past, I think you're a good person with a good heart. You should focus on that rather than on whatever specific achievements you may or may not have had.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, yeah. Sure, man. Thanks for the advice. I'm day tomorrow. I better get some rest. Shake off this tiredness. Gotta be in fighting shape. And Mortar will kind of engage from the conversation, kind of make his way to edge of the bubble and just kind of wrap himself in his sleeping bag and just kind of stay awake but facing them, so it looks like he's sleeping.
Okay. Well, I don't think an insight check is required to know that's not entirely sincere, but I'm not going to press
1,000,000%, dude.
Yeah. So
Mortar can't go to sleep after any of us, right?
how do you mean?
As in, there's not a possibility, like, Mortar needs a full night's rest, right?
Yes, but remember that the full night's rest is effectively 6 hours, including watches. So he can try to get the best sleep he can, but he'll still be rolling tonight to see if he can actually get
that's
to
absolutely fine. What I'm going to be trying to do is, when the time is before a watch is supposed to start,
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, Romulus isn't... Harlan is the talking guy, Romulus isn't the talking guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think we both know this.
Yes.
So...
Yeah,
I think with my insight, it's enough to definitely know that Mortar's not doing really okay right now, right?
I mean, you can roll insight. We already know that the DC is 16, so...
This is true.
Yeah, so we already know this is the case.
Let me just double check what my, I believe it's 5. Yep, plus 5.
And Kat, can you go ahead and roll me a
Advantage, not-
Constitution save, please?
Okay.
Oh yeah, handily.
Oh yeah,
I'm good. Like,
very
It's
nice.
like a
What's the total?
23, I believe. 23.
Nice.
mine's 18.
18. Romulus, yeah, with a 23, and I'll say, Vinny, you are more focused on Mortar in this moment, that you're picking up more on Mortar in this instance. But Romulus, as you're kind of looking over, you're like, Mortar isn't going to get much sleep, from what you can tell. And you look over and you note that Cat seems to be doing almost the exact same thing. The two of them seem to be a bit more disturbed tonight. As the thunder and the snow begins to come in, you can begin to hear the sound of heavy hail beginning to otherwise come down. You can hear tree branches snapping. You can hear the sound of the just trees getting battered by whatever this hail may be. A branch falls nearby and you can just see the leaves and the pines of the pine tree just almost poking up over the top of the dome itself. As you're looking out, you note that the storm has indeed arrived, and it is an incredibly violent one. But thankfully you are safe within the Learman's tiny hut for the time being.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is before everyone else goes to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which watch I'm on, but it still shouldn't
Probably
really
the
matter
last
for it, 'cause
one for making food for the
Yeah.
breakfast in the morning.
in that case, what I'm gonna do before people start going to sleep, I'm going to start boiling up some water.
Okay.
I'm going to boil the water, and then I'm going to carefully add in some rosehip petals, some dried lavender, some black tea leaves, and just the faintest little hint of mint. I'm going to let that brew for a moment before straining it and adding a touch of honey to 3 mugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set myself up next to Mortar and Cat, and I'm going to pass them these mugs. And I think I'm just going to say, drink up. But before you do, inhale. Take a deep, deep breath of it. And remember that we're all here together.
Okay.
And feeling incredibly awkward, I think that Romulus is going to tell a little story. When I was a young Minotaur, why I was barely even up to your shoulder, said to Mortar. We used to live in the mountains, and the storms can get quite rough, as I'm sure you can see. Whilst I've always been rather large for my age, we didn't have a tiny hut like this. We had tents and we had shacks, and the way that they would rattle and leak and rumble with the thunder, well, it always made me feel small. I got scared. When I was particularly scared one night, my caretaker took me aside, wrapped an oilskin over myself and himself, and took me outside into the rain. It was pouring down. You could hear it thundering on the sheet above us. And he brought me over to a cave. When we were there, he pulled the oilskin away. And we went and told me to look. I looked and I saw the rain falling. I saw the water pouring down. He told me stories. Some of them true, some of them perhaps less so, but stories of what the rain was, or was said to be. In some cases, tears of some god or other. In some cases, a giant ice cube, an iceberg, massive in size, had been slammed into the sky by a dragon. And as it shattered and fell, it turned into water to feed the earth. There were yet more stories of how every time blood is spilt, it filters through the earth. And as it filters, the red is taken from it, and that becomes groundwater. The groundwater then flows through the mountains, the veins of the earth, and ends up in the ocean, and then is scooped up from the ocean. Some say by gods, some say by spirits, some say by some strange magic of the world around us, but whatever means it is scooped up into the sky in the form of clouds, poured into these giant, fluffy, floating masses before it is then spread down. And that's why it always seems to rain so much harder after a battle. Point being is, I was told countless stories about the thunder, about the lightning. And whether or not any of them were true, in knowing them, I began to lose my fear. Because when you know what you're facing, when you know what you're in with, you don't feel so afraid of it. And there's nothing that can be faced if you simply have the opportunity to learn, listen, and grow. I'm just going to pat them both, and then say, "Drink a cup," before going about getting myself ready for bed.
Okay.
I know this has no use or anything, but it's him trying to comfort people.
No, that's fine. I will.
Fair.
I'll say that for Cat.
I was still in his sleeping bag, facing the wall throughout the whole story, but you get the idea. He's listening.
Mhm.
He has not touched the drink.
Ooh.
Cat's put her hair over the drink. She's sniffing it, but she hasn't drunk anything.
Did you at least give it a sniff when asked?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
she's
talking
currently-
to Mortar.
Oh.
No.
But yes, no, also
I
good.
have not. Mortar's not moved. He's not moved, and he's looking kind of out of the bubble.
Well, worth a try.
Make that story up off the top of your head, by the way, Harlan.
Yeah.
Nicely
Wow.
done.
Hell, dude. Well played. Can you get a point of inspiration for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
surely.
that is perfectly fine. Yeah. So I'll say Romulus,
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead
yeah.
and have inspiration.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
'cause that was
That was
I
sick,
will.
man.
a good story. It's a shame it
That was
lagged
really
out
good.
during the middle there for me, but it was. But
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't
No,
realize.
no,
Same.
it's fine. I think it was a Discord thing. So do not worry, it wasn't you at all.
Trust me, the little stories like that are easy for me. I've got enough of the idea of the character to say bits and pieces that might have happened.
Oh, if it's
So you
easy,
don't
you
wanna
don't
hear
need that
more-
inspiration, then, do you?
Hey, if you want it, I don't need inspiration for it. Whatever you feel is best. that
No,
works
no,
for me.
you go ahead. You have that inspiration.
So that for sure, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you've also rolled like what 3 2s so far on out of
Oh,
like
I've
6
rolled
dice rolls,
trash.
so
Yeah.
so you might need it. So I will say, as all of you begin to bed down for the night, who is taking the first watch? I believe it was Kirv before. So, Kirv, you're unable to really get much in the way of looking out and seeing much. You see the heavy snow, the hail, tree branches continuing to fall, and a lot of it beginning to cover the area around you as the trees nearby are very badly damaged by the storm as it does roll through, stripping layers of ice and snow off of them and beginning to kind of batter the mostly frozen trees from the southern side. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. And I'll say Vinny and Romulus if you want to go ahead and make your rolls as well now, and just in case you see anything as well.
Cool, cool, cool.
And these will just be regular rolls because DC is just higher due to the situation.
11.
11. Looking out, you can see very little. It's a storm. You've never had to deal with stuff like this in Hell. Like, the most you deal with are ash storms when there's a eruption of some form, but on your layer you don't get affected by that so much. That's more of the that's the first layer that usually has to deal with that. So this is very new and kind of not necessarily scary to you, but a sense of the material plane has a nasty side to it. As you're seeing all of this damage and havoc going through, and you kind of not necessarily doze off, but drift off into a little bit of a daydream before passing the watch over to Vinny. Where, Vinny, what did you get?
19, sorry.
What was it, sorry?
19.
19. During your watch, as you're otherwise sat there in the tiny hut, you do note stuff beginning to move out there. And you're kind of curious as to, like, what could be out there during the storm, as you see what looks to be large, lumbering ice elementals, by the looks of it, and hundreds upon hundreds of ice mephits that seem to be just following the storm, some doing cartwheels and flying through the air uncontrollably, others otherwise riding with the storm, very much enjoying it, avoiding trees. You watch as one misjudges their flight, hits the tree and explodes into the shatter of ice as they kind of leave this just splatter of ice across one of the trees, and snow begins to cling to it almost instinctually before moving on. And you see these almost this migration of frost-based creatures traveling with this storm, as if conjured up by it or simply going with it. And it's this strange marvel to behold that just you really get to benefit from, with Cat and Mortar either asleep or not paying attention. They don't notice this as you're looking out and watching all of this take place.
I got 12.
Passing it on to Romulus. By the time it gets around to you, Romulus, there is a fresh layer of snow that has blocked most of the sightline. Like trying to look out of a, probably not necessarily a snow-covered windscreen, but you've got that thin layer of snow where you know you need to turn the wipers on, otherwise you're not going to be able to see clearly. It's very much that kind of frosted look, you could say, where you can't clearly see what's going on outside, but you let it pass as best you can, and almost as soon as the storm had arrived, the storm fades, as it only lasts the single night. So, I would like Mortar and Cat, go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw, please. You may take advantage from Romulus if you want to. I will say, in this case, Mortar, you roll with advantage here.
Okay. Okay. For Mortar Wisdom, I believe that is a 16.
16. You, despite the worry of the night and otherwise lying there as kind of just thinking about it all, not wanting to go to sleep, there are moments where you can feel yourself drifting off, the exhaustion attempting to take hold, before you kind of kick yourself back awake, kind of shifting and turning over. Eventually there's a moment where you find yourself waking up and you're like, okay, I can't go to sleep, I'm too scared of this, and you note that the rest of your party is beginning to wake up. And you turn and you see that the cup that's next to you was empty, but you don't remember drinking it. Meanwhile, Cat, what did you get?
I got 6.
6. You spend the night unable to sleep. You don't touch the drink. You lie there, and whatever it is that is clinging to your mind, the danger of it all, you accumulate another point of exhaustion.
Back to 2, baby.
Do I lose?
You
my point
lose
of
your
exhaustion?
last point of exhaustion. Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't remember drinking from the cup.
No, that scares Mortar. That really scares him.
But you feel rested. So, you all wake to find that the storm has passed, and as Romulus, you make sure to clear the chute above the, or to clear a hole above the tiny hut so that the smoke has an easy way to escape. You note that the storm has passed readily. There are fresh layers of snow, snow-covered tree branches and sections of trees that have been torn away and down. You can see almost a smattering and splattering of different, almost these blast marks of frost where stuff has hit the snow and the trees during the night. You can see what look to be clear bludgeon marks from quite possibly hailstones, probably about the size of tennis balls, that have otherwise come down and torn through these trees and damaged them. But you note that fresh layers of snow and frost are beginning to almost form on the exterior of these trees. Go ahead and roll me a nature check, Romulus. As this be probably something
nature.
only you know.
Well, I've got to roll well either way. Come on. Ugh, 10.
10. No, you look out and you're not used to this kind of destruction, and it does shake you a little bit, but you also know and you can tell that it has passed. It has been and it has gone. You settle back down, you proceed to prepare breakfast. Everybody mark off another ration for them.
Kat, are you carrying any of your own rations, just to check?
Yeah, I've got 7.
Have you been taking them off, or have I? Because I've been taking them off for you for the last few days as well. So.
Oh,
if
okay.
you-
I have been taking them off. Yeah.
Okay, then you undo that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
realised
taking
that we
off
might have
double
been double
for-
dipping.
Yeah, no.
I'm taking off double for Carvern as well, aren't I?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, unless you want me to take them off as.
I can.
Because
chip
I'm
in
down
too.
to like
I've got
5 now.
Oh, I've got like 15, so I can give some
Cool,
cover.
cool, cool.
I can cover that.
I've also got
So-
like
so my-
cooking stuff, so I can, get away with a bit extra.
Vinny, how many rations do you have?
I have 10 currently, so I've taken
Okay,
them off for
Okay.
up until today. But if you want to take over for that, then
Yeah, I'll
do that
cover
going
carbons
forward?
then for today. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
I'll cover carbons today. So I'm now down to 14.
okay, right, let's be back up to 11.
You have a warm and nourishing breakfast. A few things on everyone's mind at this time, but you know that even though some of you may have worries and strains in your mind, there's also the very much looming physical aspect of Carvern, where she is still vulnerable to this potential cold. And while the stormy weather has passed and nice weather has taken its place once again, you know that this is probably the best time if you want to try and get as close to the city as possible. Just to try and get up there and get some
let's
help.
do it.
So,
Could I, before we move, could I cast some cure wounds on Carvern
Yeah.
just to keep on adding that buffer to her?
go for it.
Cool. I'll do that while you're narrating, and I'll tell you why I do.
Okay. Who would like to roll the 2d10 for the day then?
I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright.
Oh, and because I forgot, Cat, go ahead and roll me 2 wild magics for Titan armor at the beginning of the day. One for yesterday, one for today.
That's
Nope,
10.
you're fine. 10? Okay.
Mhm.
Let me double check what that is. Okay. The day goes by smoothly. Very little happens, and although the heavy snow and the storm yesterday seemed to have torn a path and added heavy layers of snow that is now beginning to settle into ice, with the calmer weather today and very much disturbed landscape from where you have these kind of small sinkholes almost, where these sections of the layers of ice underneath have been cracked through by heavy force. You're stepping through all of this and finding a fairly safe path for the most part. The weather is for the better. I would like Mortar and Romulus to go ahead and roll survival checks. And
Okay, sorry, just a minute.
Yep.
So for the first, so what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 third-level cure wounds over the course of the day.
Okay.
The first one was 15 plus 4 is 19.
Okay.
And the second one is way better. 22 plus 4 is 26.
26, so that takes her up to... that takes her up to that. Okay, she is now 1 health... she is exactly bloodied.
Okay.
However,
I'll keep doing that
I will say, this is
throughout.
as a general note, this is as far as her healing can take her currently.
Okay, so I can't heal her anymore.
No. But notably, she is still retaining the temporary hit points that Romulus is keeping. And I will keep it at 8, even if you don't have the ingredients for the special treats for the next few days. But
Nice.
she has 64 health to work with currently.
Nice.
You took her to exactly bloodied, which is where she can get to, which is good efficiency.
Yeah. I got a 16 on my survival.
Okay, and Romulus?
I got an 8.
Okay.
Romulus isn't rolling well today. I've used up my luck for a while, it seems.
That's right. As Romulus, you're otherwise kind of focusing on the food. There is that niggling feeling that something's wrong with Cat, but you don't know what. Mortar looks better and quite possibly took the story on board, and you saw that he drank his drink last night. So you feel warm and inside knowing that he took it on board. But then...
Sorry.
No, it's fine. But then
Oh, boy.
Cat, something is wrong with Cat and you're not sure what. And throughout the day, you know that you're supposed to be the trailblazer. This is your terrain, this is your territory, but you're finding it difficult. Your Outlander feature is helping you retain orientation as much as it can, but you're still struggling with this. Thankfully, with Mortar feeling a lot more spry and ready to go for today,
Yeah, I feel good.
you continue going, and Mortar seems to have a very much a... Okay, he's used to storms, usually sandstorms, as opposed to snowstorms, but what's the difference? It's just snowstorms are wetter, right? So you lead...
Storm's a storm.
Storm's a storm. So you lead the party closer to your destination. With 3 days of travel past, you have now made it out of the forest and on to the base of the mountain.
And just like that, voila! We made it.
Not quite. You look up and you can still see that there is a good 2 days of travel up the mountain.
Well,
But the route is going to be more treacherous and more exposed. You know that you have the ability to cast Tiny Hut tonight on the base of the mountain where it's more flat, but going up the mountain, you're going to need to find a safe space to cast Lehman's Tiny Hut, or quite possibly you're not going to be able to have it. As Mold Earth will not
Okay.
work on stone.
Yeah.
On a positive note, Cat does have stone shape stone, whatever.
Unfortunately, you really need to maintain a lot of spell slots to make that functional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, focusing on the positives, we're in the home stretch, so well done, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Well done, all.
Right, obviously we want to get to the city as quick as possible, but if doing this safely means taking things slowly, then it's looking like Carvern's going to survive.
We've done everything we can on that front. We just have to trust she'll make it.
Well, the body doesn't seem to be accepting any more of my healing magic now. It seems to be rejecting it, so I think that's the limit of her capacity. I think she's about as good as we're going to get her.
Some things require time and comfort and rest. Wonderful as magic is, it's not always a substitute for a good night's sleep in a warm bed.
Tell that to the greatest wizard alive. I kind of point my finger haphazardly in a direction and end up pointing at Romulus, who just spoke.
I cast Fist.
He gets bigger.
Carvern briefly, Chris. Has there been any point in this time where Carvern has become particularly lucid, or is she pretty
Yeah.
much out?
For the most part, nobody's noted her becoming lucid. There are times where, like, she's actively shivering a lot of the time. Not necessarily because she's like cold, but because parts of her are still exposed so that she can breathe. So
Yeah.
she is wrapped up warm. She's not suffering any further frostbite. I should have been rolling, but she gets to roll with advantage, and her con score's still monstrous, so I don't think she's going to fail any of these. Nah, she's fine. Lowest roll out of all of them was an 11 plus, and she needs a 10 plus for the frostbite, so that's fine. So she has been shivering throughout the days of travel. Using Terrador has been carrying her through the forest as best Terrador can, and there doesn't seem to have been a moment where she's particularly spoken yet. You know that the healing seems to have helped. There are patches where the skin has become tougher as opposed to being more sensitive, but the damage is still done, and whatever mental damage has been done, exhaustion still lingers. You know that it may take a while before she becomes, or before she regains the ability to actively talk and converse, but mental wounds will also potentially take a toll as well, and talking may be further down the line.
Yeah.
Is she at least kind of looking at us?
No, eyes are closed.
As it's still closed, okay.
Yeah, she's not moved for a lot of this time. She's only woken up like briefly to, like, when she's been prompted to be given food or drink, and she's woken up very briefly and then kind of immediately slumped back into unconsciousness. So unless you wish to wake her, you can, but know that there will potentially be consequences should you try to forcefully wake her outside of feeding her.
Let's let her sleep. We've gone through too much to even push that.
Yeah, if she's stable for the most part, then I don't want to upset her.
Yeah. What's Cat doing at the moment?
Just ambling along behind.
I'm gonna kind of fall back a little bit, kind of limping on my peg leg, which I'm still trying to get used to, and kind of looking at the mountain going, oh, I'm sure this won't cause an issue.
No, of course not.
And he'll kind of no, of course not. He'll kind of slow down and kind of place a hand on her shoulder as she kind of goes to walk past and kind of tries to stop her, just to kind of look her in the eyes and see if she's okay.
She does not look you in the eyes, but she stops. You okay?
Hey, never been better. What about you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hey,
Never been better.
yeah, only I'm allowed to say that. Because when I say it, it at least sounds convincing.
Roll me an insight, Mortar.
Hey,
Roll me deception or persuasion,
Sure.
Cat.
Oh
God.
I suck at these.
Yeah, well.
Hey, I'm okay at insight, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's
There's a
find out.
chance.
What is my...
Nope, it's not today.
Well, Cat, remember you're making it with disadvantage because you have 2 points of exhaustion, not just 1.
Your DC's an 8.
Okay, well, how did I beat you? That was an 11.
Yeah, I rolled fucking abysmal.
Yeah. She seems to
Yes,
be okay. Probably
yeah.
haggard from the weather
Yep.
and possibly had a little bit of difficulty sleeping given the lightning and the sound of the heavy blizzard last night. But other than a little exhausted from the day's travel, she says she's okay.
Okay. Also, I'll kind of just kind of nod, put on a bit of a grin to try and cheer her up a little bit, and say, "Hey, thanks for bringing me back. Though I wouldn't have held it against you if you didn't. I am grateful. So, thanks."
As Cat turns around, does look you in the eyes now. Are you sure?
Am I sure what?
About coming back?
Mortar's kind of smile, yeah, kind of quivers, kind of almost like he's kind of going, "Oh shit."
I mean, I would do it again to save my friend, but I don't know. I've kind of just been watching you destroy yourself and be sad. Did I do the right thing? Are you okay? I see you got your gun back.
Mortar isn't. Mortar, are you looking at Mortar's holster? The gun is not in there. He's, it's safe to say he's put it in his pack, but he does not have it in his holster.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll retroactively have that bit
Okay.
not get brought up. But I will say in response, you hear Mortar say,
I like the idea of Cat noticing that. I like the idea of Cat noticing.
Well, she
of
knew
knowing
that
that
you
it's
were
there.
going to go and try and communicate that night.
Yeah, she-
so
well,
first
she
thing
was-
in the
That's
morning,
true.
she would have looked.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I like the idea of Cat noticing.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So in response, you otherwise hear Mortar say in reply, "I'm fine. I will try not to destroy myself."
We all got the big no-nos there for Chris being the one to say that, right?
Yeah.
Just a genuine warm smile from Mortar. Just
Oh.
eyes full of honesty. Just kind of goes, "Hey, I'm good. Look, you did something huge for me. Something I never think I'm going to be able to repay, and I am grateful for the life you've given back to me. You are beyond special, and you mean the world to me. Like the rest of these people here, the rest of my buddies.
Oh.
Don't destroy yourself either, okay?"
I'll try, but honestly, I don't even know who I am. Can't
Hey.
destroy what you don't know.
Don't I know it, buddy? Don't I know it? But hey, if you ever want to talk, I'm always here. And I'm always going to be here. That's what keeps me away.
Would it be alright if I looked back and tried to do an insight check or something like that?
Mortar has positioned, so just to give you an idea, Mortar has positioned himself where he is, his back is to the party, he is facing Cat, and he is now hugging her. Just to give you an idea of position.
I'll say the insight in this instance. I'll say you can, but at the moment there's no easy distinction for what Mortar is doing or saying other than he's hugging Cat and seems to be trying to potentially console her.
Cat's hair is really loose at the moment because she's using it to cover most of her face.
I don't think I've ever seen Mortar initiate a hug.
That's valid.
I don't think you have. You've seen him initiate high fives, never hugs. He's gone into hugs when people have offered them, but like, he's never initiated.
Then Kirv will just keep that in mind.
As Mortar goes to give Cat a hug, she whispers into his ear, "I don't know if I'm even alive anymore."
Mortar in response will say, "Hey, we're all just dead men walking." And I'll kind of brush her hair just kind of out of her face just a little bit so I can see her eyes, and I'll just say, "We're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine."
You see both of her eyes are jet black, with cracks that have otherwise reached across the bridge of her nose, and almost like a bandit mask in a manner, have begun to crack and form across her face. Small changes from when you last saw them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna fix this.
I, like Mortar, are running out of limbs and body parts. How do I grow new body parts?
Regeneration spell, baby, and nobody can learn that this campaign.
Works on Cat.
That's also true.
Oh,
Have you
We'll
also
get Romulus.
considered the clone spell?
Yeah, that clones
Why,
everything,
take their limbs?
including the creature.
and take their
Oh,
limbs. Like you use the clone spell, and just take their limbs.
Bonus limbs.
That's horrific.
Okay, regenerate can be learned by bards, clerics, and druids. So no one in the party can learn this, with the exception of Vinny if he tries to push for it. But with what we've discussed, probably not.
Don't worry. I've got family members who might be able to help.
Who you can pay off.
Or they'll kill us, one or the other.
Okay. There is also Greater Restoration as well as an option. You can use Greater Restoration over multiple days as well. It's expensive, but...
Just to note, as a rogue, I can cast any spell by robbing people and using the money to pay for someone else.
stealthy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's awesome.
Just steal any spell scroll from them and it's done.
That's amazing. I'll disengage from Cat and I'll say,
Well,
come
through
on.
the power of Rob, all things are possible, so jot that down.
Yes.
Secret ingredient is crime.
It's crime.
Material component is crime. So as that happens, you find a decent spot to rest up Mortar at the base of the mountain. It's relatively flat for the most part. It's a little bit leaned, but it's flat enough that you can quite easily set up a ritual circle there and begin to cast Tiny Hut. The hut goes up and the night sets in. Mortar, you can join in a watch with anybody now that you have no points of exhaustion if you would like to. Or if anybody would like to double up to have any RP during the night, you can. Otherwise, we can go straight past this night and move to the next one.
I'm down either way. So if anyone wants to RP with me, I am open to it, but I'm not going to push at the moment. I do want to get a chance to do RP with Cat, but I feel like getting us out of the current survival situation might make that a bit easier.
Yeah, she's also exhausted, so she can't stay up for a watch at the moment.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my take on it.
Kirv
I'm good
or
to
Vinny or Mortar? Do any of you particularly want to RP with someone?
No specific scene I want to start, but I'm happy to.
Okay, Kirv.
To join someone else.
Now might not be the time, but I would like a scene of Kirv trying to figure out what's off about Mortar.
Okay.
But I would let Dan decide if that will be tonight. Not.
I would love to do a scene where Mortar tries to have a watch on his own and maybe gets caught by Kirv.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be quite cool.
Okay, we'll say it's the first watch then. You decide to take the first watch, but Kirv, seeing as you've had to do first watch several days in a row, you find it difficult to sleep. So, Mortar, go ahead and roll me a perception check, and then describe to me what happens during the watch.
No worries. That is a
I gotta be right back.
22.
Okay. Well, as you settle down for the watch, you otherwise keep an eye out as best you can. It is dark, it is nighttime, you're used to this sort of thing. The wind is light and the dome is grey to help you kind of remain covered from any prying eyes. Strangely enough, you haven't seen many creatures at all during your days of travel. You imagine the storm probably scared off a lot of the natural creatures of the area, so they would seek shelter, and that meant that your day after was a very easy travel to the edge of the mountain. And the day before, possibly there was something involved there, but you otherwise didn't see anything.
Yeah. I've just sent you a DM, quick, Chris.
Okay. You know what? We'll use this time real quick to have a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll deal with this bit of RP. Because the message has just come through.
Right. BRB.
Alright, don't go anywhere, chat. We'll be back in a moment.
In a mo.
Tea.
Ooh. Actually, a coffee sounds delightful. Yeah, BRB.
So, how's everyone feeling? Am I the only one left? Sad.
No, it's quite right. Thank you. Okay, I'm back.
Hello, back.
Hello, back.
How are you feeling as a player?
Oh, it's Dan. Dan's good, man. I was saying to the guys earlier, I've had a very good day today. So I'm feeling good. It's very strange going from kind of having a good day to playing a character who is not having a good day.
That's fair.
I am finding that a bit challenging, but I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
I think it's the thing to remember is that, however you decide things are, the focus should be on the fact that, you know, whatever your personal situation is, you're playing a part in a story, right?
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah, you're a character.
because you're playing a part in a story, that means that even when things are bad, it can still be a good story.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, there's definitely a way to manipulate the story to make it good, despite there being a bad situation. By just not being a shithead player. I think it's essentially like the main one, to be honest. But no, like yeah, what Kat said to me, like to Mortar just now, like really shook. Like I was like, oh shit, like she's like, is she questioning whether she should have brought Mortar back? Like I was like, oh.
When it was more along the lines of like, oh god, have I done something? Has I done something bad to you by bringing you back?
Literally,
I mean,
because since
maybe.
he came back, all he's been is defeated and downtrodden. Cat's like, did I make a
Did I
mistake?
do the right thing?
Like, have I just sentenced him to torture?
I read it the complete other way, where like based on the last session, where Mortar basically said he wished he had stayed dead and he wished he basically had, because he feels like he has, you know, he's got you guys. He doesn't feel like he was in like the throes of his like depression or whatever, and he said like, oh yeah, I just wish I died and stuff like that. And I thought that what you were saying, Jamie, was that like Cat like intuitively like was just saw right through him in that moment. I was like, oh shit. Like I do love that idea though of Cat just being so just like intuitive and intelligent. She's just there like, I know something.
I was gonna say, I was sitting here, I was like, do I make an insight? Yeah, I was like, do I make an insight? I was like, no, because Cat is incredibly analytical. She'll know that there's been a massive difference in personality, that you had your gun because that was the first thing she would have checked for, because you said you were going to try and knock that night.
Yep.
And then seeing you
That's
had
right.
your gun and have now hidden your gun, and then seeing, because she was listening in to all of your conversations that you were having.
She does that.
So she was listening to that, and she heard that Vinny was catching on that something seemed off, and then listening to that. So there was just a lot of things. It was just, she was questioning a lot of things, but like, have I made a mistake? Like, have I ruined his life by bringing him back, and now he's living with, like, no leg, having to struggle? You know, he's clearly hiding something, or something has upset him, because you were really excited to get your gun back because you couldn't use any of your abilities without your gun, but you got your gun, but now you're refusing to use it? Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of like just unanswered stuff. Making Mortar incredibly sus. Yeah.
And I'm like, Cat is smart enough to be able to at least work this out
Without a doubt.
over a long
Which
period
part
of
of the
time.
It's part of the reason I pushed for it, because I was like, I actually love the idea of Cat just being like sharp enough to be like, okay, there's something off here. He doesn't have his gun. He always has his gun, and that's he always has it. Like he doesn't let it out of sight.
Yeah.
But right now, he doesn't have it.
Nope. No. So
Nada.
yeah, it's something that Cat will talk to you about. Cat's got beef with people, so you have to just go for one person at a time. I think.
Oh damn, she got like a list.
Yeah.
Okay. We missing anybody? Is Rebecca back and Simon, you back?
I'm back, yes.
Okay, so we're just waiting for Rebecca. Okay.
In the meantime, I will enjoy a stroopwafel.
A stroopwafel?
A stroopwafel.
Oof. Love me a good
Oh, yeah.
stroopwafel.
Oh, I love a good stroopwafel.
Don't ever leave them in the cupboard for too long.
No, they will congeal.
It's more that when me and Rebecca got some a while back. I can't remember how long ago it was. But we got some a while back, and then we ate them again, also a little bit of a while back, and we bit into them and because we'd put them on top of our cups of tea so they'd melt a bit, we bit into them. They tasted like cupboard, and it was
Nice.
nasty. And then the tea tasted like cupboard because we put the stroop waffles on top of them, and it was vile. So don't leave your stroop waffles too long. They need to be eaten.
Oh,
Your
you,
public service
I was recounting the tale of the cupboard waffles.
the cupboard waffles.
Yeah.
That sounds rough. Cupboard waffles!
I've gotten myself a cup of coffee because I think I'm going to need it for this scene.
I got myself a cup of tea and some coleslaw because
D&D coleslaw, you haven't been getting enough of that.
D&D coleslaw. I've been eating D&D coleslaw. Do not worry about that.
Good. So,
I also sent you a message, Chris.
yes, I saw. And that is dangerous because there's a potentially lot of wild magic rolls we're going to make. But we'll get there when we get there.
Them. Cause that.
She uses your
When
spell
it's propped
points.
through. Okay, yeah, that's valid.
So, other than the party exploding during the middle of the night and Carvan probably dying, Mortar, if you'd like to take your watch away.
Yeah. So I will roll first.
Oh, did you not already roll for the perception? Either way, I think you got like a 24 or something previously, so now it's a natural 20 plus
Oh,
whatever.
sorry. You're absolutely. Oh, my mistake. We'll go with the previous one.
It's fine. Nothing
yeah,
happens
mine-
during the night.
Oh, a natural 20 means I have like 4 eyes though, so I'm extra good at what I do.
Whoa, you can see in one of each of the cardinal directions.
It's amazing.
You're like a
I've never
pigeon.
see
You
in
can
prawn
see
colours.
360. You can wait. What? What did you say?
Prawn colours.
Prawn
I
colours.
can see all of the smells.
You can see. There is bacon
Mortar.
3 miles due north.
And I will have it.
And by that, there's a
Um,
pig out there.
Ah, this little piggy. Mortar is going to, kind of like as people start bedding down and everything, he's going to, he becomes very quiet, kind of like after dinner and everything. He just waits for everybody to go to sleep and just begins looking outside, taking his watch and everything, just trying to stay awake as much as he can. His back is to the fire, and he is constantly looking out into the darkness, almost unwaveringly, in a sense that he is afraid to look back into the fire in case something in the darkness decides to like react. He's almost convinced there's something there, and he's like, if I take my eyes off it, it's gonna get me. He's almost in this self-deluded paranoia that he can't shake, that that the cold and the darkness will come back and take him, when he died. So he is completely unaware of when Kirv wakes up or does whatever she does. He's completely unaware.
Despite having 4 eyes.
Despite having 4 eyes, yeah, he doesn't
And
have them in the
smelling
back of his
colours.
head. And smelling colours, but except purple, he is smell colorblind. That was the one that you missed. Yeah, my one weakness, purple.
Is there a term for that? You got blind for those who can't see, deaf for those who can't hear. What's you can't smell?
I
forget
used
I
to
can
know
see.
this.
No, it's not Nasmic or something along them lines. I can't remember. I can't smell, just so you know.
I mean, we can just go through the thing of Mortar is just stupid and this is it. It's a simple enough explanation that really checks out.
Jamie, did you just say you can't smell?
Anosmia.
Yep, never had a sense of smell.
Roll insight?
Genuinely never had a
reason
sense
does
of
he-
smell.
What reason does he have to lie?
I don't know.
He has a
But I need
nose,
to know.
doesn't he?
For the bit.
For the memes.
Anosmia is what it's called, apparently, which is cool. I never knew that. The more you know, stream. So, Yes, Kirv, you wake up and somehow manage to stealth past Mortar. Then again, Mortar's looking for outward threats, not inward ones.
Yeah.
Mm. Fair.
If you want to call Kirv a threat.
Well,
I would, 100%.
so
Obviously.
Kirv grumbles awake, well, not being able to really sleep. And she just peeks outside to keep an eye, make sure everything's okay, and notices that Mortar is on his own. And he's been absolutely exhausted the last couple of days, so she's worried about him being on his own out there. So she does get up and ponder over.
It's not far. You're
But
still
let's-
inside the bubble, but...
Yeah. And sort of looks at him. Just to his side, she stands and looks down at him, but waits for him to say first comment.
He kind of like looks at you a little startled, but it's not. He doesn't look entirely at you. It's almost like he goes to look, but he's still looking out. He goes, big jump. Quite a day of travel, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why aren't you asleep?
No, I've been first watched the last couple of days. Guess my body's just not used to the change.
Yeah, I feel that. Change is a bitch.
We haven't really caught up since you died.
Yeah, I guess we haven't.
How did it feel?
Oh man. Mortar immediately has like deja vu of the cold and the emptiness and the loneliness just in a flash flood, and he's just can't help but just kind of outwardly shudder. He goes, it was nothing worth writing home about.
Sorry, yeah, I suppose that's a bit of a poor question.
No, it's you hear about these holy people, right? Who have these deities. They're like, oh yeah, if you're really good, you'll get a reward, and when you die, you'll be in a good place where only good things happen.
I'm not sure I ever believed in those.
Well, I mean, there's a thing of believing and a thing of hearing it, And anyway, I heard these things. There was a lady I knew growing up. She was a fair bit older than I was, but she was good to me. And she used to say stuff like this, like, whisper it. These little seeds in there, and just kind of going, yeah, like, if you're really good, if you make it through, if you be a good person, you can reap the rewards of what comes next. And but it made me go, when that time did actually come, and I did actually, am I a bad person for not getting what I was told was at the end? And I don't know. It was just what I saw wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know. I think I'm just tired. Just rambling on. You know me? Good old rambler. Love to talk.
Cat used to believe that hurting anyone was wrong. Yet Romulus would do what needs to be done in order to save the ones he cares about. Which one would you say is more moral? Would you say either of them are bad people?
I would say that out of everybody in this group, I have the least footing to stand on, literally and figuratively, when it comes to the moral standing and philosophies of religion. I kill because I have to. I kill because I have to live. I have to survive. It's the only reason I kill, but it also feels very empowering in a way. You know what I mean? You feel in control when you know that whatever's on your back is gone.
I understand completely.
Yeah, figured you would. Let's just say, dying isn't always chalked up to be scary. At least it was for me.
Was it scary because you expected better?
It was scary because it confirmed one of my things.
That you aren't a good person?
Not a sudden interest.
Sorry, did you say why the sudden interest?
Why are you pushing on me this on me, Kirv?
I thought you were the one who brought it up.
Did you ask me what it was like?
Am I not allowed to be curious?
Sure. But maybe right now isn't the right time to be curious. It's, death is an eye-opening experience, which I hope you don't have to contend with, which I hope no one here has to contend with. It's you relive everything. All of your hits, all of your one-hit wonders, all the shots you should have taken, all of the shots you missed, all the shots you hit, and maybe the ones you shouldn't have. Every single one of them lined up for you. Or at least, that's how it should be. Life flashing before your eyes. There's nothing scarier than just having someone turn the lights out on you without so much as a farewell. That is what waited for me at the end. Nothing. No afterlife. No deity. No reward. No punishment. Just cold, empty darkness. Just like out there.
But I do feel like something was holding on.
Something?
Yeah. As if I should have expected something to be there in the void.
Hope. So I don't know if I need to do a check for this, but I noticed that Mortar's anger has suddenly dispelled.
In what instance?
I mean, this is me as a person. Sorry, not talking to This is all getting a little confusing with you voicing snaps. As in, the conversation was getting a little heated, and then suddenly Snap comes in and
There
it's
was.
calmed down again.
I'd say it's not necessarily an insight, just more of a natural flow of the conversation. There's no discernible difference between what Dan was saying and what Chris was saying, for all of it was Mortar.
With the same tone?
Same tone, same everything.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
almost like there's a... Not necessarily a
Also,
lapse or a change, but almost
I'll
like
also,
a
I'll also
change of subject.
I'll also clarify as well. Mortar didn't seem necessarily angry. He was defensive, but also curious in terms of why you seemed to be pushing him on this. And it seemed initially like he wasn't too keen to reveal all.
Mm-hmm.
So it was less anger, more of a defensive thing. Like he kind of retreats into himself for a minute. And then he mentions hope. I felt someone, a warmth in my hand. And he turns and looks at Kirv. A warmth that, despite everything, despite all of the darkness, despite this impending doom that I was destined for. And he takes Kirv's hand and feels the warmth. I knew I wasn't alone. That was what brought me back. They would continue to look at Kirv.
Kirv looks incredibly nervous in a way you haven't seen her before. She doesn't pull back, but she also doesn't hold your hand back.
Also, will just smile slightly and release her hand, and then just go back to looking out. The armor's nice. Gotta say, I like the new digs. It's good style.
Oh, I'd almost forgot. Yeah. I'm got myself modelled up with another Lord of Hell, it seems. While you were gone.
Wow. That's... So, out with the old, in with the new kind of thing?
She stays rather quiet after you say that. Like it's triggered something in her mind. Before she gently nods. But not convincingly.
Did I potentially insight that?
I mean, I'm happy for that.
Yeah, then make me a persuasion or deception check of your choice.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm doing the roll for
The Kirv, yeah.
Persuasion or deception?
Persuasion or deception, but you don't have to say which.
I would like to roll with disadvantage here.
Go for it.
It doesn't make that much difference.
Okay, what's your total?
Got a 16 for my insight.
And Kirv?
15.
15.
Whoa. Oh, damn. What do I see?
You see that whatever it was might have been to do with holding her hand.
Zarkana grins to himself slightly, but tries to. It's under his mask, so he tries to keep it subtle. And he looks back out and he goes, change in the status quo is never necessarily a bad thing. Maybe with this change you can start to maybe live a little. Enjoy yourself.
And about all the people I left behind. I've learned it's not just about me anymore.
I mean, it's all a matter of perspective. Are you beholden to everybody who's behind you? Or are you beholden to yourself? You can choose that. Besides, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little bit selfish every now and again. You all have needs.
Sorry. Kirv turns and looks into your eyes. She does a half smile, but she's not ready for any big changes yet.
What the fuck?
I know, right?
Go away, Romulus.
I'm judging
Also-
both of you.
I don't feel like I need to kill it with fire, but I'm too sleepy.
Whoa! Whoa!
I brought back the wrong
Also,
character.
I'm just here with popcorn.
I'm here with coleslaw.
Also just nods and says, well, depending on the change that can come, whether we wanted to or not. I'm hoping that our little band gets to complete our little adventure and live. I'm really lucky to have a second chance, but at the same time, I feel like now it's come with more. I feel like it's come with more responsibility. Like I've almost like I wasted the first part, you know. So I want to try to live this life right, if I can.
By living it for yourself.
In a way. Not necessarily in the way that you're thinking. In a way that I can live with no regrets. Going, I did whatever I wanted to. I did good things with good people, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make a name for myself. Maybe I'll return home and sort out that whole mess. Maybe, I don't know. Like you, I think that change isn't quite right.
Oh, we don't have to go home just yet.
Can't argue with that. Some
And if-
sleep. Sorry, after you.
Oh, I was just going to say, if Mortar's happy, I'm happy to leave it there.
Yeah. Also, I'll just say, get some sleep. I'll close this one out.
If you're sure.
Oh, I'm positive.
And Kirv will go return to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mortar will make sure she goes, and then the smile fades. The act kind of drops, and he returns to just staring into the darkness and just trying to shut out the cold. You really could use some company.
Oh, that was a scene.
Okay.
That was
I
a
needed
scene.
my
I was,
coffee.
by the way, sorry. Are you good? By the way.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay. Cool.
Romulus is not okay.
Shut up, Dad.
Leave room for Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, that feels about right.
he's not in the party right now. It's fine.
Our cleric, Jesus.
So,
Hello, my name is Jesus, and
Jesus.
I'm here to prevent you all from dying. Hello.
so does that make him a
How,
life domain or a grave domain cleric?
Yes.
Interesting questions. Anyway, so. Oh man. So,
Put them together. Grief domain cleric.
Greece. Did you say Greece domain?
No,
Grief.
grief.
Oh,
With an F.
grief. Okay, I thought you said
No,
Greece
it's
domain
not
cleric, and I'm like,
grave,
what?
life.
It's the return of
And,
Slipinator.
mix them around a bit, you get grief.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, life or death, we're all sad about it.
So, the watches go by. Very little happens, except for obviously what has just transpired. And we move on to the next day. Kat, do you get a proper night's sleep, or are you going to need to make another wisdom save?
I do, but how many charges does Titania use?
Go ahead and roll me a wisdom save.
This is plus 2.
What's Cat up to?
Yeah,
You're fine.
she's
Yeah,
good. It's not what Cat's up to. She's hanging on in there, man.
yeah.
Oh.
You get a
24.
good night's rest. You fall asleep, the exhaustion claiming you once again, and you recover 1 point of exhaustion, going back to 1. So, with that, you wake the next day and begin your trek up the mountain. Who wants to do the next 2d10 roll?
I really do need to overturn my bad luck this session, so I'm gonna ask for it.
I need something to
It's-
go well.
And if you say
can-
no,
You can take
Alright.
Cats.
Yeah, alright.
oh,
Go
we're
for it.
halfway there. Wow. Fuck.
Listed on a
I
fire.
regret.
Can I use my inspiration on this?
No,
If you want
crash and
to,
burn.
it's supposed to only be used on a d20, but I will allow it to be used on the 2d10, just cuz.
Just technically make 20.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's more of a, if you want to burn it on a random encounter roll, I'm not going to complain.
I'm going to use it here on the very simple basis that, fuck me, I can do better than a fucking 6.
Got a 9.
Not a
9.
6.
We'll take it.
Okay.
One of those was above the average. That's gotta be a
Roll
positive.
me a d10, please, and choose odds or evens. Or you roll.
Oh boy. I will be choosing odds.
Okay.
Fuck.
Evens.
That's
Okay.
not nuts.
So,
If you look it upside down.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 9, Chris. Quickly, cover up the line.
They put the line in the wrong place. Dyslexic did the line.
Yes. The line is in the wrong place, of course. Of course. I didn't think of that. So,
Yeah, should get better dice, innit?
as you're traveling up the mountain, the trek itself doesn't necessarily seem to be too difficult, but you know that resting tonight is going to be a little bit of a challenge as you are traveling up the mountain. There isn't going to be many flat spaces for you to work with, not much room at all to build a tiny hut by any means. And that still won't protect you against potentially having a collapse or a landslide underneath you. But You climb the mountain as best you can. The wind isn't too strong that it's causing issues. However, Cat, you are climbing a very sheer surface as a centaur.
Only 2 hooves. I have got spiky back legs.
I also have a peg leg.
This is also true. So I would
Trying to
like...
climb a mountain with a peg leg.
So,
So
do you
stupid.
have any options to help you
I have
through
a
this?
pterodor.
Okay. And how is that supposed to help?
He's got like claws, elemental rocks and stuff, so he can like bed his claws in and help Cat stabilize at least.
Okay. And Mortar?
Oh, man.
Keep in mind,
the
Pterodor
only
is
thing
currently
I-
carrying Carvern, which means she might slide off his back if he's helping you.
Oh, fine. Do I have spider? I don't have spider form on either. Well, look. Hope. At this point.
Cool! That's a good option. Mortar?
I'm here, so I can provide some assistance.
The only thing I have that could be of any kind of assistance is some pythons, which I'm thinking of using, or pitons, or however you pronounce them.
Pitons.
Pitons. And I'm going to kind of like be scaling, well, not scaling, but like I'm going to be kind of walking up, but it's going to be quite slow. I'm going to be kind of jabbing these into the rock, into like the wall as I kind of walk.
Mhm.
So it's very monotonous, but it's basically just to ensure that nothing bad happens. Is to try and give me just a little extra mobility for what I can do.
Okay.
I mean, do you want a hand? I can.
I would love an extra
kind of
hand.
system
Yeah,
planning,
if some,
like,
yeah, if anybody has a better idea, I'll absolutely take it. That's the only thing I have handy. Really.
I mean, just because I've got like 2 good legs and a pretty good athletics mod, I can probably provide a.
Rub in.
I mean, you have two good legs. You're just supposed to have
I've got-
4.
Yeah, look. I'm grateful for the 2 at this point, because I seem to be losing limbs and things quite quickly.
So, in which case, I would like Cat and Mortar to both make me athletics checks if they please.
Oh boy.
That's
That's
And
not good for me.
Vinny and Romulus said they were
This is-
helping, so both of you will have advantage on this.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's
But
actually pretty good.
but
So
Cat,
first
you
one-
have disadvantage, so this is just a regular roll, so it'll just be the
Alright, I'll
left
take the
one.
left one.
Yep.
First one is 17 total. Second one is a 2, so thank goodness. So 17 total.
Just don't ask, I did bad, okay?
How bad are we talking?
I got 6.
A 6.
I have a minus. I have a minus to my athletics, okay?
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Okay,
Remember, I am there to assist.
this is true.
Yeah, that
Which-
was with your assistance.
Yeah, that was with your assistance.
What I more meant is, if you're about to take a tumble down, I might get a chance to catch you.
I have got lock state, and if push comes to shove, I will summon Treladex and just use my dragon.
Could be fun.
Oh god.
So, as you are climbing up the side of this mountain, for you, Mortar, with a little bit of Vinny's guidance, and every now and then you do kind of slip, but Vinny's kind of there to just kind of hold your arm, and using the pythons to give yourself a little bit of a handhold every now and then, you do manage to hold on where need be. But as you are climbing, you are finding it a little bit tricky here and there. It's not the easiest climb by any means, but you have some help. Given that you... I'll say in this instance, go ahead and roll me a survival check if you're leading the party in this instance.
Okay.
As Cat, you are climbing alongside, but there are moments where you're finding your hooves are slipping. with the fresh snow, the fresh ice, and the slick and mostly smooth with a few kind of jagged sections of rock, you're finding it very difficult to maneuver easily.
You just tell the longer this is going on, the more frustrated she's getting.
Yeah, very much so. No. What did you get on the survival roll?
29.
29. Okay. As you're otherwise climbing, there's a moment when you're kind of looking out and you're like, okay, you need to keep an eye out for a plateau, and you can see one up above, and you're like, okay, that looks good. But with a 29, you're looking up and you notice something. You notice what looks to be bones hanging from the edge. Almost
Yummy.
these, what looks to be, strangely enough, multiple bones hanging, strangely, but almost hanging there out of their own sheer will.
Wait, as in, are they suspended by anything, or are they just floating?
You can't see anything holding them.
Mortar's examining this kind of as we're approaching. Mortar will kind of tap Vinny and say, "Hey, see that? Point up ahead." And I think as he does, as he's looking closely, he gets almost like a shiver down his spine, just a sense that something's off. And I think he is going to trigger his hunter's sense.
His what, sorry?
His hunter's sense. Yeah, his hunter's sense.
Oh, that's right, from the...
Which,
yeah, what does that do again?
So, hunter's sense gave me the ability to appear at a creature. I have to choose a creature. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. I guess maybe I'm looking at them and I kind of see them and I'm kind of like, that's weird, and maybe I trigger it by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows me to know any damage, immunities, resistances, vulnerabilities, and what they are.
You get a look at the bones, and they don't seem to have any resistances or anything by any means, and you don't have to use the feature for this. It's not a viable creature by the looks of it.
Okay, no worries.
Looks to be some form of skeleton of some form. Not a whole skeleton by any means, but skeleton.
Okay.
So I'll point that
and
out.
this has
to
now
Vinny.
been, yeah. If I've now been made aware of this,
Oh, sorry, wait. I know the feature I should have used. It wasn't Hunter Sense, it was Telepathic Intrusion, because I can hear spells and telepathy. Traveling within 30 feet of me. Is there a spell affecting this?
Doesn't seem to be, no.
spells? That's weird. Okay. Cool.
so they're just hanging there.
They're just
Seems
suspended
like it.
there.
Okay, now this has been pointed out to me. I'm going to try and get a little closer, not too close though,
Mm-hmm.
and see if I can see like what might be holding them up.
Okay.
By the way, is this barring our path? Like these bones? Are they
No,
barring our
by no
path?
means. It's just it looks like a good place to potentially set up camp for the night. There's this flat plateau up ahead. For reference, you're not climbing it as in like vertical climbing. You're going up probably what I'd say is maybe
An incline.
an incline, definitely. Probably looking at maybe about a 30 to 45 degree angle. So it's quite steep.
Okay, so quite a climb, yeah.
It's quite steep, but it's not by any means a vertical climb. So it's not barring your path. You can go to the right, you can go to the left. But as it stands, you see up ahead what looks to be almost like this perfect plateau. You can just about make out the edge of it, and you think, okay, that might be large enough for what we need.
Yeah, perfect unless it's a trap. So, as Vinny is tiptoeing closer, he'll mutter under his breath. This is another goddamn.
Am I the only one?
I swear to God.
Sorry.
That's good.
Am I the only one who feels like that's a warning?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's...
I'm in completely the same boat as you.
Cat has
Either
no idea.
that-
She's raging.
Raging. I didn't know Cat could do that.
Yep,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
taken
she-
a temporary
she-
level in
Oh,
Barbarian,
Oh, she
Yeah.
very much can.
so,
We've seen her do
so
it.
she can shout at rocks. So you climb up as best you can, kind of pulling yourself up the rock carefully. Go ahead and make me a stealth check if you're traveling quietly.
Yep. Definitely trying not to attract attention. Yeah. That's a 12.
12. Okay. You travel up as best you can, but there are loose rocks as you are kind of traveling up, and there are times you have to go for the unfavorable footholds, which do kind of slip a little bit as you're climbing. It's not the quietest approach you could have hoped for, but as you otherwise reach the bones, you can see what look to be threads, thin threads, near see-through from what you can tell, with what looks to be a fresh layer of frost on the exterior of them. Not dissimilar from spider webs.
Okay. We look up. Is there like a roof almost above this plateau?
From what you can see, Vinny, if you wish to go closer and you wish to go further up to get a better look at the plateau, you can.
Okay, now that I've seen the threads with the frost on them, I'm gonna be moving extra slowly and hoping that now that I know what I'm looking for, I can avoid any further and try and move closer
Okay.
without disrupting anything.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me another stealth check. Much better.
25.
25. Now seeing this, you climb very carefully up to the edge of the plateau. And as you look over the plateau, you can't see anything in particular that catches your attention. It is a mostly flat section of rock. Do you pull yourself up? Are you just having a look around? Are you going back to the party? What's the sitch? Did you want a closer look at the bones?
I can summon an ally to go and investigate for us. If there
Send
is
Eugene.
Send Eugene.
You want to send Eugene?
If you want to send Eugene to set up the trap rather than me doing it, I'm very much.
I can summon a shadow spawn. It might be a bit
Summon a
tanky.
shadow spawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll back off as this is happening.
Okay.
Okay.
Make sure I can keep
Yeah.
an eye on what the shadow spawn is doing, but
Yeah, this thing will crawl out of Mortar's shadow and investigate the area where Vinny was, or where Vinny was going.
Okay. You otherwise begin to send the shadow up as it begins to slowly but surely make its way up the edge of the mountainside. Is it climbing onto the plateau?
What do we think, guys? Do we think we should trigger whatever's going on here? See what we're dealing with?
I mean, if the alternative is us triggering it, then
Yeah, then let's just go for
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
Hell yeah, let's do it
this
then.
is pretty much the
Shadow
perfect
Spawn's
place
gonna-
to rest if it's. Yeah.
The shadow spawn is very cockily in like a very Mortar kind of way. He's just going to kind of like draw this silhouette of kind of black scorpion from a shadowy holster, kind of spin it, kind of step up, do a little kind of walking kind of jig as he begins to make his
Oh
way
my
to the
gosh.
center of the plateau, kind of whistling to himself, clicking his fingers and everything like that.
Go ahead and roll me a d20.
Oh. That's a 12.
You watch as it climbs up onto the plateau, almost clicking and whistling to itself before you hear it go quiet as you're looking up. And then moments later, as you're all kind of waiting for some form of response from it on what's going on, you watch as it tumbles backwards over the ledge and takes...
I don't remember what kind of stats the creature has.
It takes 19 points of bludgeoning damage as it falls backwards over the plateau edge, hits the rocks, and go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw to see if it can regain its footing before it falls further.
I swear, don't start an avalanche.
What dex? What's it say?
+3.
+3. Okay, dexterity saving.
Okay.
That's 18.
Despite tumbling backwards, you watch as the shadow of this kind of digs its claws into the stone and kind of pulls itself to a halt as it comes to rest. It has taken 19 points of damage, which means that it has 16 health left, but you get the sense that it, for some reason or another, it fell backwards off the edge of the plateau.
If something hit it.
You're not sure. You didn't hear or see any flashes. You can't see any wounds, bar the injury that it took from falling.
I'll return the shadow to me then,
Okay.
and I'll ask it what it saw.
Okay.
It
doesn't have an easy way to communicate with you, other than through gibbers and screeches.
Luckily for me, I'm crazy, so.
I speak gibberish.
I'll say go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check then. I'll say for this.
Okay.
Because it has a -3, so it has a 4 on its intelligence, and it doesn't have the ability to speak. It can only understand commands. So I'll say this will be an intelligence check on your part. I'll probably say this will be DC 15, just to see if you can try and get any gauge information from this.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so I have a minus to intelligence, I believe. Yep, -2. This has to be one hell of a roll. Explains so much. It explains so. That's not one hell of a roll. You lied to me, dice. That's a 5.
You return the shadow to you, and as you try to recount whatever explanation it gives, it's not able to provide any.
Well, fuck. What kind of wounds does it have on it?
None bar the damage it took from falling.
Can we climb up and try to investigate a little bit better?
You can if you want to. I just want to know who's going up.
I mean, I'll go up, but I'll try to be careful about it.
Romulus, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
With advantage, because of...
Yep.
Alright, I'll take what I can get.
Because of danger sense, yeah. As in this moment, while this is happening, trying to do a little bit of recon here.
Oh.
That was an 8 and a 13, so I'm taking the 8 and the 13. So the 13 plus
13.
what?
On a dex save, I believe that's +2 for me.
Okay, 15.
Check.
In this moment, you're kind of watching as Kat's holding onto the edge, and she's getting frustrated as she's catching up to the rest of you. But you watch as one of her spike foots goes down and cuts a little bit into the stone, and you watch as she begins to tumble. But you quickly kind of grab hold of her and pull her up to the edge as best you can to where you are. You otherwise hear the sound of rocks tumbling down the mountainside from here. Not starting an avalanche by any means, but certainly would have been quite the fall, and possibly quite a bit of damage if she wasn't able to right herself.
Noted.
And Mortar, you were climbing over the edge?
Yeah, I'm going to try to be as slow and as careful as I can.
I'm not going to let Mortar go alone, so I'm going to go with him.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nothing went wrong last time this happened. So,
Exactly.
Mortar and Vinny are climbing
Exactly.
over. Is anybody else coming with? I'll say Cat and Romulus, you're occupied with the fact that you're trying to keep Cat stable and catch up with the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Kirv will go with.
Okay. So, Kirv, you begin to climb as well. I'd like all three of you to make me athletics or acrobatics checks of your choice to try and get up over the lip.
Damn. Okay. Oh, that's so sick. Okay.
14.
14, that's enough. It's not a particularly difficult kind of hoist yourself up and onto the lip as you kind of pull yourself up. Vinny?
What was that again? Dex.
This is just athletics or acrobatics for these three because they're there at the moment. Right now, you and Kat are just catching up, so we'll get you two to roll in the moment.
Okay.
What was your total, Vinny?
15 on acrobatics.
Nice. Yeah, that's enough. You otherwise managed to find a quick path, kind of hopping up and pulling yourself up onto the ledge. And Mortar?
19 on acrobatics.
Yeah, easily enough. You have planned out this. You watched how how your shadow went up before moments ago, and you do the exact same thing, kind of climbing up to where it was. As you pull yourselves up, I would like all three of you to roll me a d6.
Ooh.
And I would like each of you to declare odd or even.
Oh.
Or actually, I'll let the three of you decide odd or even between all three of you.
Oh, okay. So we all share honorary.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go for we're an odd bunch.
All right.
So
I-
odd.
I would like
Yeah.
all three
So
of
shall
you
we
to
go
roll
odd?
me d6s.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. How about
Hey.
Odd, odd, and odd.
Odd.
All of you rolled a
Let's go.
5 as well. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
juicy.
Hell yeah.
as you all.
High fives
so
all
sick.
round.
Yeah.
Feels
As you.
good. That's a lot of high
Well,
fives, people.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're a 5 bunch.
Yeah. You all climb up over the ledge and you stand on the plateau. And it's empty. It's an empty, mostly flat plateau, slightly tilted to one side. And you can see that it smoothly begins to move back up into the mountain side once again. You have a quick cursory look around. I'd like all three of you to make me perception checks, please. And Mortar, obviously, you have advantage on this.
There's something so fucking shady about this.
I know,
for sure.
right? I look at this
Oh,
and
yeah.
thinking, God, when Cat gets up there, I'm going back down the mountain.
Oh, natural 20. Let's go.
Natural 20? Okay.
Kirv pulls out her hand binoculars again with a 5.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle, that's a 14.
14? Okay. As you're getting a look at this Mortar, you're looking around and it feels suspicious as you're standing up here. But as you're looking around, you note that there is what looks to be almost a slight downward curve to a section of the plateau. And as you kind of get a better look at it, taking just a few steps closer, you can see that there is a section of it where it goes downwards into a hole in the ground. You can also see that the exterior of this is otherwise coated with what looks to be webbing and bones. On the plateau itself, you can also see a few more of these kind of sections of bones that are otherwise hanging off the edge of the plateau. Almost decoratively.
How big is the hole, roughly?
Probably 10, 15 foot wide at most. It's kind of a ovoid shape, so it's not a perfect circle.
Okay. Kind of crouch. Kind of like narrow my eyes as I kind of see it, and we see the bones and everything. And this might be the entrance to a lair.
We can't go messing around with it. We've got to get Carvern safety.
And
Cat
also,
and Romulus, go ahead and roll me athletics or acrobatics checks, please. Carry on, Mortar. Sorry for interrupting you.
Isn't
we
mine a
make what?
flat roll now?
Disadvantage for you still. What was that, Mortar?
All it takes is one bad move for us to tumble over the edge. So, really, we want to try to avoid this if we can.
Is it possible for me to use Giant's Might here safely?
Possibly. The doubling or quadrupling in weight might cause some land to give way under you, but it's something you could do. What did you get on your athletics? Or acrobatics?
I hadn't rolled
You
yet.
haven't
'Cause
rolled
I
yet.
was wanting to ask first.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Fuck it. I'll pop a rage instead.
Okay.
I know it's for like one roll, so it might be stupid, but I'm really feeling like I don't want to fall down here.
And if you do, you're raging, so you'll take less damage.
Yeah, I might not die. There we go.
That's pretty...
17. That's what we like to see. 26 total.
Okay, you hoist yourself up onto the plateau, and as you kind of do so, Cat goes to reach to try and pull herself up as you watch as she begins to slide and fall back. Go ahead and make me an athletics check, please, Romulus, and Cat, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Also making this one with advantage.
Also
This
with
a flat
advantage, because
roll?
you're still raging. Yeah.
Oh,
Mine's
yeah.
a flat roll this time, yeah?
Yeah, flat roll, because it's a saving throw, not an ability check.
Oh, no, I've still got 1 point of...
Fuck.
Alright, yeah, no, we are good, yes.
12.
Total?
Hang on.
How
15.
close is Cat to us?
15. You're a little bit further in, so that you're not right next to the edge. They're just climbing up, and Cat's she's not even on the edge of the plateau. She's just tried to climb up. So, in this moment, Romulus, as you kind of turn and grab Cat as best you can, you don't strain yourself by any means, as you did have to get numbers close to one another. So you rolling poorly here actually helps, because you are closer to Cat's result, which is 15. As you grab hold of Cat, she tries to get as best grip as possible. I would like you two to decide who is going to take 10 points of damage. This is not going to be halved by rage, this is just you two distribute it as you would see fit. This is just going to be an idea of the strain of what you're doing to succeed this. Making up the difference,
I'll take it.
to say.
I will take it.
Okay, so you take 10 points of damage as you strain yourself, feeling your shoulders. Even though you're in the rage, you can feel your shoulders almost wanting to come out of their sockets as you're lifting something way heavier than you should be.
Just
And-
to check, is there any? Could we both take half, or is it just
Yeah.
one person takes all of it?
You can both take 5
yeah.
if you want to.
I can take
Good,
5.
because we both got temporary hit points. Hey!
Yeah, that works. There we go. So you both take 5 as you otherwise pull Cat up, as Cat is hoisted onto the plateau, and the two of you are lying there kind of almost exhausted by it. Pterodor just gliding up casually and moving onto the plateau as
I've
the
flipped
earth
Pterodor
element.
the bird.
Look, he's carrying
Cat-
Carver, and if he tried to help, he could have dropped her, and that's a long way down for someone who's wrapped up in a burrito.
Lemon's doing a good boy.
Honestly, it was nothing to do with how to put it. I wasn't. It wasn't like, how dare you not help us. It was like a fuck you for making that look so easy.
I know, right?
That's fair. So, Mortar, you've obviously taken note of whatever this divot may be. Cat and Romulus, given that you're the even bunch, go ahead and roll me a d6 each.
Oh, good lord.
Oh boy.
Even. A D6,
Even?
you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Come on.
Oh, what did I roll?
3.
You rolled the 2. This one here. So
Okay,
Cat's
thank God.
fine, Romulus isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Cat's hanging on to
Okay.
Romulus still. Just clear that up.
Okay. Would invigoration work here for a D6 roll?
You don't know this is happening.
Okay, no worries.
How many hit points do you currently have, Romulus?
110 and 3 temp.
Okay.
So if I fall off this mountain, there's a slim possibility I survive.
Don't worry. I have got Featherfall.
Yeah, you're both fine. You're lying there. You kind of dust yourselves off and stand up.
Okay. I hate the fact that Chris isn't saying shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
You otherwise standing on the top here, as you're otherwise kind of looking around. The plateau is barren. There's no small stones with the natural 20 that Mortar has. You're all kind of noticing there's no small stones, there's no dust, there's no snow, there's no ice. It is a flat, stony, rocky plateau with a divot that leads to what looks to be this relatively large hole that is almost very well camouflaged into this natural flat plateau to not look suspicious. You note that there is webbing around the entrance and that you can hear the sound of bones kind of clacking together on the edges of the plateau where the webbing seems to be holding it in place as kind of the wind is buffeting past.
Mortar is taking note of the fact that there's webbing here on this mountain where there is a lot of wind.
Mm-hmm.
These webs have got to be insanely strong.
Seems like it.
Wow. Okay. I'll who would be nearest to me? Either Vinny or Kirv, I guess. I guess I'll nudge Kirv and I'll kind of point in the direction of the hole there, and I'll say,
Don't nudge me into the hole.
I'm not going to nudge you into the hole.
Yeet.
I'm not going to do that. Don't worry.
Yeet.
No. I kind of nudge you, and I kind of point ahead of us and say, I'm betting whatever's made a home here. Probably in there.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I also don't want to find out.
Is there an easy way to leave the plateau and keep going without going through this hole, or does it look like the hole is the only way forward?
Yeah, no. You can see that the plateau itself, it keeps going, and then there's kind of this almost sheer section where it looks like it may have landslided previously, and then it just keeps going up the mountain. You can keep going. Just keep in mind that it's getting darker at this point. So if you do press on, you're looking at potentially not finding a good spot to sleep.
That's also exhausted.
And furious at the moment.
The only thing I can think of is that maybe we try to flush. It's not ideal, obviously, with Carver and everything, but the worst case scenario is that we get caught with our pants down while we're in the dome. But then again, whatever's here can't pass through the dome. So we should be safe unless we get webbed up or something, and then the dome collapses. We all get caught in the web, and whatever's in there comes and gets us.
I'd like to know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, a part of me is like, we should deal with this now before it gets dark, so we can use this space as the best space to camp. But Carvern is obviously the main concern here. So unless we set up the tiny hut early, and we make sure we're all inside initially for the casting, she stays inside, and then we go.
Vinny wouldn't be able to leave if that does happen.
That is true. Oh, that is true. Sure.
Is it possible for us to set up the tiny hut out here first?
Yeah, it just means that Vinny
to
won't
block it up entirely.
What,
Yeah, but that blocks
the
us
hole?
in it.
Keep in mind
Yeah,
that
the
it is a dome. So if you were to try and cast this over the hole,
so
you would have to be
you could
floating
climb
above
it.
the hole. And the bottom of
also
the
whatever it
dome
is.
is non-existent, so whatever it is could climb in from the
What
bottom.
what if we hold Vinny upside down?
Yes.
Does it
Then we wouldn't
cast
have
in
tiny huts.
orientation to the caster?
Then
If
we
you-
wouldn't have a tiny hut to sleep in.
If you want to, yes, but then there won't be a tiny hut to sleep in, and additionally, someone will have to hold Vinny there all night.
Well, it only says he can't leave the dome, but if he goes out from under the dome...
Then it counts as him leaving the dome, unfortunately, is how I'm
Noted.
going to rule that.
Worth a try. It was
So
worth
we've
a
gone
try.
from Lemon's tiny hut to Lemon's tiny bowl.
I mean,
Yes.
I could.
Okay.
I have a way to flush this thing out. I've held on
Or
to a
things.
Little things, but I get the feeling it's probably going to be one big thing, maybe a bunch of little things. But this will get its attention, and with any luck, maybe cause some issues. And I pull out a small leather bag filled with flour that Romulus gave me. I go, all I need is a light.
Oh.
You feel me? Obviously, we're on a mountain. So we're on a mountain. This could go very badly, but this could also be really cool.
Mm.
And these webs could be
Would
alarms.
really cool.
We could just try shaking the webs to see if it comes out.
Part of me wants to try to startle it and maybe damage it, rather than it come to us on its terms, whereas, like someone triggers the webs. I'd rather rattle the cage and rattle it in turn. But
Can I
obviously,
make an
obviously-
investigation check to see if an explosion or something of that cause will cause damage to this ledge or this plateau we're on?
I would say you'll be making it a disadvantage either way, but go ahead.
Make it with super disadvantage.
Super disadvantage.
Super disadvantage, man. That thing in D&D.
No, it's still, what was it? 11.
11. Without further information, it's hard to say. If this is just a simple hole and divot, and the hole and divot is 10 foot deep, and whatever it is right there, and you just haven't had a look, then it's quite possible that, no, nothing will happen, just whatever might be in there might just suddenly go, oh hey, intruders, as they get hit with a bag of flour, and then they attack you. It's also quite possible that if this is the entire plateau, throwing in an explosive could cause the entire thing to collapse, including with you all on it, including Pterodor, who is carrying Carvan. Because Pterodor can't earth glide if he is falling. So this could go poorly, but you unfortunately just don't have enough information to know what the situation might be.
Can I look down the hole?
You can try to. There isn't necessarily a good angle to do so without leaning over the hole itself.
Maybe someone with a good dex save or a good AC should do that.
Okay, before this, I would like to cast. Now that we're all here, I would like to cast a tiny hut.
Okay.
Nice.
So while everyone's
Because
up
if
here, you
necessary, I
cast
can
Tiny
just
Hut.
walk out and...
Okay. You cast the Tiny Hut. Okay.
Okay, we've got to back up. What I will say is we don't know what's in there. If it's unable to dispel magic and has better things to do than sit around waiting to ambush us all night, then we don't need to provoke anything.
I've one last thing I can try.
I was going to say, would it be safe to assume, based on kind of all of our collective knowledge, that we think this is some kind of spider-based entity? Are we all thinking a similar thing here?
My personal thought is spider, or the fact that there's no snow is quite interesting. So I'm wondering if it might have something to do with wind or fire, something that could clear out the area.
Yeah.
And Kat, what was you saying?
I'm going to ask Trellodex, has he seen anything like this? I mean, he's used to mountains and things.
What's
so
Trelodex's intelligence mod?
Give me a second, because I've got to go to his part. His intelligence mod is 0.
So in this instance, you get a reply back of not one that I recognize.
Okay.
Romulus?
Can roll me a nature
that
check,
wasn't
Romulus?
me. And nature check. Let's see. Oh boy.
No.
9.
No, you got worse than Trellodex. No.
I was going to say, I have a means to blow it up safely. If we get a little bit of distance, I can command my Shadow Spawn to hold the flower, like a torch or something, like a flaming torch, and I can have it throw them down. So if the plateau collapses, we keep ourselves at a safe distance. So potentially, if we're thinking of clearing this thing out fast, maybe. I mean, best case scenario is that we keep the plateau or whatever's in there is destroyed, but that's a best case scenario.
I mean, we also don't know how deep the hole goes.
That's true. So I could send it down there and give the instruction that when it reaches a point where it's in danger, to open the bag and to basically flash it with the fire, cause an explosion.
Yeah, it needs to like spray the bag up into the air, right?
Yeah, so it would need to the actual flower would need to be in the air, so it would need to like throw it up essentially.
Yeah, just because if we do this prematurely, we could wind up destroying the plateau and not defeating whatever's down there.
How much flour are you
attract its attention.
using, out of curiosity?
So back in the dungeon previously, Mortar asked Romulus for a bag of flour. It says a small leather bag of flour.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be enough for
Maybe.
like it's not like an entire sack of flour, because otherwise Mortar would not be able to carry that. For
Probably one of the like 500 gram ones.
yeah, something more. I feel like this is a tactic Mortar has used in the past because reckless abandon is an easy to make explosive. So I think that Mortar would have a bag that is bulging with flour. It's like a leather bag that's bulging with flour. But I wouldn't say it wouldn't be massively heavy because that would impact him. Like he just wouldn't be able to do it. So it's up to you whether or not that would be enough for him.
So essentially, if it's spread out over an area, and the area, and then a relatively contained area like a cavern, so it's not just getting blown away immediately.
Yep.
Whilst it lingers in the air, when you light it, it causes a dust explosion.
Yes.
Which is a fairly intense but relatively brief explosion.
Yeah. It's like a flash fire. It's like a flash explosion.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I was literally just watching videos to try and figure out how much damage this would do. This isn't by any means going to cause a collapse of a cave. It's likely to wake whatever's inside, if there is something inside.
Okay. Well, I mean,
That much is certain.
we have that as an option, but it would also give us a chance to be ready and to basically act as we want, because I get the feeling this thing is probably an ambush predator, so we would probably be surprised.
We could use it as sort of like a flashbang type situation, and then get ready to run in.
Yeah, so it would give us like maybe a second to just like armor up essentially. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know about this. We've come across spider beings before that weren't hostile. We don't even know if this is hostile. We're just gonna go in and firebomb them.
Mortar points to the bones.
There were bones the other place. It might just be trying to defend its territory. Are these humanoid bones? Are we sure?
Make me a medicine check.
Like humanoid bones.
Oh, yeah, I mean, as far as we know, it could just be animals. And I'm shit with medicine. Is anyone good at medicine?
I'm alright. I got a +4.
Does anyone identify these bones, please?
Should I give it a try?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Natural 20.
Roll me a d20.
Well, I was going to say I wouldn't mind giving it a try, but also like, well, we got it.
Give me another roll, please.
Another roll. With a d20.
Yep.
Same thing. Okay.
Just I want to see what the d20 roll is. Okay.
So that's an 11.
Okay. Yeah. The.
Plus, did you want my medicine bonus?
Oh no! This was something else.
Okay.
You walk
Okay.
over to the bones, and you otherwise have a quick look at them. Yeah, they seem to be, from what you can tell, they're mostly animal bones as you're looking about them. Mostly things like deer, there are the occasional oxen, and as you are looking around, as you're kind of going through all the bones, well, not necessarily all the bones, but around the lip looking at the bones, you do recognize smaller bones. What could quite possibly be, from the natural 20, what looks to be human bones, of maybe that of a smaller individual, or quite possibly a young adult.
Okay. My theory is that they probably use this path to the trade, based on the fact that a lot of these bones are going to be like beasts of burden, but there are human bones. I think we are dealing with an ambush predator.
Okay.
This is not something innocent. It is an animal just like the rest of us. But it is one that it could be a danger to us and has been a danger to others.
True, but should it be something terrifying? I don't know if we should poke the metaphorical hornet's nest.
Well, we won't know
How
until
about-
we find out.
I mean, we can take a long rest and just be extra vigilant of the hole.
We don't know what this thing can do.
That's exactly my
How
point,
much?
then.
You
I'd
do
much rather
s-
strike
The longer you stay here, the more hours of daylight you're burning if you want to keep moving.
Yeah.
I'd say you've probably got about 45 minutes before sunsets.
We don't have the time to find somewhere else. And frankly,
this is it.
No, is what I was
if we try and set up and just leave this thing here, if it is an ambush predator, which Mortar is right, it does seem to be, we are going to end up being ambushed. And
I'd much rather be the predator than the prey.
Okay.
Remember,
Okay.
it probably can't ambush us inside the dome.
And we'd
True.
always have someone on watch.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. We don't have to provoke
but it
this.
takes
It's
but it
asleep.
takes you time to set it up, and you're not quiet about it.
It's set up, isn't it?
Yeah, the dome's set up.
Oh, it's set up. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
it's already set up.
I had not clocked that. Apologies.
That's right.
In that case, I mean, I do think we should probably take care of it, but I'm not going to push too hard on it.
Mortar seems very, he's very much standing his ground that he would much rather kill this thing to basically rest our minds so we can rest peacefully.
I
My vote
understand.
is on dome and keep watch.
My vote's don't keep watch in case it's strong.
My perspective here is I can't go out and help you and also keep the dome up to protect the cavern.
How about the rest of us go and attack it, and if we don't think we can deal with it, we make our way back to the dome, because the dome is safe. I believe that, Vinny, do you have a ranged weapon?
I have a bow, yeah.
Can't you shoot things out of the dome?
I can do if you lure it onto the plateau.
Then it seems only
can.
logical to essentially flashbang this creature.
Mhm.
Which will either cause it to run away or fight us if we strike.
Yeah.
If it runs away, excellent, more than fine. If it doesn't, and we have to take it out, at least we're in the best possible position to do so. Carvern
Agreed.
stays safe inside the bubble. Vinny also stays safe inside the bubble, but also can shoot things as necessary. The rest of us
Also-
are able to fight.
Also, the dome can act as a medic's tent. Essentially, we can put wounded people can
A
go
safe
in
place
there.
where we can fall back to. My reasoning for wanting to attack rather than simply wait it out, if this thing is some sort of spider, it could set up webs all around the dome.
Yeah, I'm the
And
same. That's what I was
even-
thinking.
And if we are interrupted midway through sleeping, we're not going to be in a position to respond as well as we could right now. And we're not going to be in as good a position tomorrow if we do have to fight halfway through the night.
Okay.
Cat.
There's definitely reluctance, but it's like...
Yeah, I understand.
I will
out of
say
character.
in this, everybody other than. I'd say this is probably Mortar and Cat. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution check, please.
Is that everyone except Mortar and Cat? Or Mortar and Cat?
No, Mortar and Cat are the ones making this. Everybody else, I imagine, probably wouldn't notice this because of various reasons.
I have Tides of Chaos. I'm not
Oh
gonna
shit!
Okay, keep in mind that
That's
you're.
a.
I was going to say.
my life.
I was going to say.
That's really bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cat, if you want to burn it, remember you're rolling disadvantage because you have a point of exhaustion. So if you want to roll 2 dice because you're using Tides of Chaos, this will be your new disadvantage roll with your Tides of Chaos. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, so
That's-
Mortar,
that's,
what did you get?
I got a 5.
5? Okay.
16.
16.
Nice.
Cat, as you're kind of there, Vinny set up the dome. You're kind of sat there and you're... It's strange. You feel comfortable, but you also feel warm. As you place your hand on the floor, and it feels warmer than it has done previous nights.
No, Chris, no.
The floor's warm.
What do you mean, no, Harlan?
Are you pulling a fucking Sinbad's Island on us?
I could pretend I know what that is, but...
He knows.
Okay. Are you pulling a...
Sinbad's Island monster? Oh, okay. I see what you're
You
putting.
see what I'm
down.
referencing?
Yeah.
Are you pulling that bit from The Hobbit on us?
Which bit? There's so many bits from The Hobbit. And are we talking the book or the film?
Oh god.
Yeah.
The floor's warming up, guys.
Okay.
Oh, I
that's
think
not
I get
good.
what people are saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I still don't follow.
Oh no.
Sinbad's Island is
Are
a
we
giant
on a
living island.
creature? Yeah, I literally
Oh,
are we on a
fuck.
giant creature? Are you about to shoot either its bum hole or its breathing hole?
I'm about to drop a grenade down its butthole.
Yeah, literally, if that thing takes a little toot, you're about to lose more than just your eyebrows, my friend.
If this isn't the most Mortar thing to do that he has ever done, he was born to drop a grenade down a sentient mountain's butthole and be proud of it.
And what happens? Volcanic eruption. Boom!
I will plant my flag in that butthole.
Quotes channel.
Yep.
Okay.
I was just
Yeah.
about to get there.
I think this might be bigger than we expect it to be. I really don't think we should try and do this. I gesture to the entire plateau. I think this could just be the creature. I think we're on it.
Could I
Okay.
now do a nature check to see if there's anything that I know of that might fit that description? If
Go for
this
it.
is what it is? Don't suppose I could
Yes,
argue
you should.
advantage.
No, not in this
Seems
instance.
kind of reckless for a city to be built on a mountain that's made of a creature.
Ah,
I
no,
reckon it's on-
fuck all.
No.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
don't
heard of
think it's
anything
the
like
whole
that,
mountain.
No. You don't... You have never heard of creature... Well, you've heard of creatures being large enough, but you know that they've been previously pretty obvious. Usually they're like Earth Elemental Titans or something similar, which usually means that they are pretty much going to just be everywhere, and they usually don't just have random holes in them. But this could be a species or something that you are unaware of. You're not sure.
Could be.
This could
Can
be
I
a
cast
Zarlak
Detect
pit.
Thought?
Bernarda.
You're going to cast Detect Thoughts?
Through Side Chainer, I'm going to try and outside of the party, do I detect anything?
Okay. Are you stepping out of the dome to cast
You'll
this?
have
I don't think we're actually in the dome at the moment,
Yeah,
are we?
everybody's in the
Oh
dome
yeah,
at the
okay.
moment.
I'll step out. Yeah, I'll step out of the dome.
Okay.
to cast
You
it.
step out of the dome and you cast this through Cychania.
Mhm.
I need to do a quick roll. What's your spell save
I
DC?
am so ready to grenade.
Oh my lord, hang on. Does Cychania have a different DC to me?
No, it just uses your spell save DC.
Yeah, it's just my spell date. Okay, so that is a 17.
You don't detect anything.
I have no idea. I have no idea, but the fact that it's warm makes me feel this is either alive or something's coming for us either way. If this whole thing is the creature, I don't feel that's a fight we're winning.
No,
I
much
would
as
agree, but we don't have anywhere to run away to.
This is
either.
our only place.
So we rest here?
I don't necessarily believe that this entire plateau is the creature, but
Okay, that would be the worst case scenario, but if it's a massive rock monster that gets up and stomps around every night, only a day's travel away from the big city, surely they'd have done something about it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think it's an ambush predator. Something that only
Same.
comes out when it's disturbed. Which is why we're stronger against it if we act first.
Should we come back next week with an idea?
I think that's fair because it's
Yeah.
late.
Okay. So as the
Alternatively-
party's otherwise sat in the dome contemplating what exactly they want to do, casting of detect thoughts to see if there's any form of intelligence that Cat can pick up on, there is nothing. There's no physical being or connection around, and you're kind of standing out there in the cold in this moment, just trying to think of what possible solution there could be before re-entering the dome with the rest of your party. And that's where we'll end the session for tonight. But we will be back next week for whatever this might be.
My days.
Woo! Gives me a chance to make a map as well in case anything happens. But for the session,
Nice.
for the stream, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next week for the session. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.